Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3907. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And Jim, our Men's Room. What's up today? A Men's Room Radio inspired Bad Choice Friday. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shout of the day, fun listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack, drink it to drunk. All right, here we go. A deer crashes through a New Jersey home and takes a dip in the family pool. Meanwhile, a Florida man steals a Captain Morgan statue, which is both kind of funny and very cruel. Nordstrom in Canada selling single shoes during their clearance sale. Man shares X-ray pic of his hip surgery and holy hell. Yeah. And a woman who was laid off makes sure her coworkers will never forget her. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, last weekend, a family was hiking in the Cascades here in Washington. Well, a 10-year-old girl, she got separated from her relatives and disappeared into the woods. Goes without saying, but that was a nightmare scenario for the parents. Now, the good news is she was found the next day with only minor injuries, but she was still missing for over 24 hours. However, not to be outdone, an 8-year-old in Michigan. He disappeared for 48 hours in the Michigan wilderness. The good news is he too was found and in good shape, but like any parent will tell you, your kid does not need to disappear for a day or two to cause absolute panic and dread. I'd say 10 minutes will do just fine. That's how long a woman in New Zealand lost her son at a Kmart. He was found when everyone in the store started looking, but like the mom said, quote, it was the scariest 10 minutes of my life. And look, kids don't have to disappear to freak out their parents. They can fall off the jungle gym. You can watch my son skateboard. Jesus Christ, it's terrifying every frickin' time. Kids playing with fireworks for the first time. Zorbing. You're wondering what a Zorb is? A Zorb, that's one of those big inflatable spheres that people climb in and roll down hills or whatever. Well, the 9-year-old kid in England, he was Zorbing recently when what they call a mini tornado lifted him and his Zorb 20 feet into the air. He was injured, but he did survive. But today on this Positive Friday, we're talking about those times that you inadvertently terrified your parents, or if you're a parent, those times your kids inadvertently terrified you, and that's exactly what today's question is. When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death? Or how did your kids do it to you?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but tell us, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3907. What a large and in charge program we have for you today on this also Positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
Yes, the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC, and as Ted's spent a little time with family today, and we do this once a year before we get to the end of year spectacular. We're going to play every miss so far in Ted versus the FCC. Here's why. We're not sure exactly. Mike, do we have the number on how many times Ted has lost so far this year?
7.
7 times.
Ooh, okay.
So we're at the halfway point of Ted versus the FCC. Now, if you are listening at home, one thing you do know is that if Ted messes up, we hit the dump button.
Correct.
And when we hit that dump button, if he cusses, it takes the show backwards a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how many minutes in time or how many seconds in time.
5 seconds.
5 seconds in time.
Correct.
You do not hear how Ted messed this up. All you hear is to go, oh, man. Right. And we go to break and we do Shot of the Day. So today, with all those misses, you'll be able to figure out, if we believe, the word that Ted probably messed up on. And all the misses so far in Ted versus the FCC. Now, bonus for you, those are all edited, obviously, because
We'll find out if
they are cuss words that should not go out over the air. But on the Men's Room Happy Hour, and episode number 401, today, we will play for you the unedited version of all of the misses that Ted has had this year. So
Boy, I hope I got those files saved properly.
I sure. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In the
we
Men's Room
secretly
Happy Hour.
switch the file
Just don't
names.
play the wrong one.
Exactly.
When we go back in time, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that the one that's
We'll find out real quick.
That's
We will.
edited goes on the air, and the one that is not edited goes on the Men's Room Happy Hour. Now, how do you listen to Men's Room Happy Hour? All you have to do is download the Odyssey app. It is absolutely free. Search for the Men's Room page. All things Men's Room are on that page, including all of our podcasts, daily podcast, weekly podcast, Ted's podcast, Megacast, the podcast, Greatest Story Never Told podcast, or weekly podcast. We must have about 90 million podcasts up there.
You need
Check
to
out.
start making up a different podcast that does not exist
The
there.
Love Boat.
and
We do a Love Boat.
The Love Boat podcast.
Yeah, we do them all, man. Talk about Fred Grandy and the crew.
Oh, Fred Grandy. Hell
yeah, the whole Love Boat crew.
Name another actor. Ted Lance?
Gavin McLeod.
Who the hell was he? Was he the captain?
He was the captain.
Ted Lance? Was it Ted Lance? Isaac?
Oh,
Lange, apparently.
Ted Lange. I was so close.
Right, yeah. We do a Love Boat podcast. That would be very exciting. No, but they're all up there, man. And tons of episodes. So if you're just hanging out over the weekend and you want to catch up on some of the shows, they're all there. Also, we have a Men's Room radio station, as they let us curate our own channels. Speaking of that, we've just added another 100 songs. We've been listening to this channel all week. It's got some gems in it. Some of the songs I'm not really familiar with because we all get to pick, 25 songs each. So far, there's 200 songs up there, and now we have 200 in there. I think the channel is absolutely spectacular. If you get some time over the weekend, you're hanging out, maybe barbecuing, or you got a party at home, or you're just cooking dinner, whatever, put on the Men's Room radio station. I think you'll enjoy it. There is something for everyone on that channel. I mean, it goes from rap to country to disco,
crooners
to rock. I mean, to crooners. What are we here today? My Way from France.
My Way.
Just you name it. You're like, what in the hell is
It's a good song.
I put in a couple of. I don't
It's
know.
not that it's a bad song, but if you're a parent, you might. It takes me back to that damn movie Sing, where the rat sings a song. So even though it's Frank Sinatra, I know it's Frank Sinatra. It's a fine song. As soon as I hear that, I'm picturing a rat singing who's hoping to not be killed by bears.
I put a couple in there just to annoy people.
Yeah.
Just because that's me. But either way, check out the Men's Room radio station exclusively on the Odyssey app. We'll see you for the Men's Room Happy Hour. Keep in mind that is an adult-only segment. There's a reason the channel's labeled explicit, because you're going to hear Ted cuss up a storm today on the unedited version of Ted versus the FCC. Now, of course, we will drink and toast into the weekend with a shot of the day that it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday.
It's Bad Choice Friday!
You know it's Bad Choice Friday.
Hey, man, this is your fault!
Now, as we mentioned, the Men's Room radio station exclusively on the Odyssey app, what we did for you this afternoon is we picked two of the newer songs that we have added to the playlist. It is up to you to determine who in the hell would pick Christopher Cross.
And I've got such a long way to go. Such a long way to go. To make it to the border of Mexico. So I ride.
Yeah, it's like Mexico is this place you can't reach.
They'll never find me there.
Like, brother, it borders our country. It's just not that
And you're
far.
gonna probably going through San Diego. They're gonna stop you if you want
Yeah.
it.
I mean, if he said, like, I don't know, Somalia, you'd be like, all right, man, I'll see what the problem is.
I don't think he blends.
But you'd never see him there.
No, you gotta. I mean, he's gonna do better.
We're looking for the white guy. Right.
Christopher Cross and Ride Like the Wind taking on the Doobie Brothers on a Bad Choice Friday.
What do they take him to the street?
Or he just says, no more Negro music.
Is that what he says?
Yep. Pretty much.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think the brother in the band's like,
It's Michael McDonald,
Right.
who's basically a white brother. And Michael McDonald's in the Christopher Cross tune, too, as well.
I know.
It's almost
double dose of the Michael.
You're getting a lot of Michael McDonald today, either way. Who picked the Doobie Brothers? Either way, get there and vote on a Bad Choice Friday. If you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, hit that from the beginning so Steve can hear the beginning of that again. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he says.
No more Negro what?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if that's what he's saying.
I don't know if it is either. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
That is what I'm hearing.
Oh,
Are you pulling up the lyrics?
Yeah.
They probably took that out of us, didn't they?
No more need for running.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. No more need for running.
Damn,
What'd you say? No more Negro music?
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. Thought he was being a racist.
Wow.
But apparently he's not.
Wow.
I would expect that from Michael McDonald. Oh, there's more. We have tickets to Tool and Guns N' Roses. They told us to come up with a time every day this week. Taryn's got them too later on tonight, by the way, if you listen to her. 7:16 is the time that Taryn has her tickets. 7:16 if you happen to be listening
She does not like round numbers.
But what they told us was, they said, hey, you pick a random time every day, give the secret word, and then you'll text that word to 206-803-ROCK. It's only going to get activated at 4:20, which is the time we picked today.
That's a good time.
4:20 is going to be the time for your chance to win tickets to see Tool and Guns N' Roses, as Guns N' Roses come into Climate Pledge Arena October 14th, Tool at the Tacoma Dome on October the 20th. And you're going to get tickets to both shows when you text in the secret word, and your chance to win those coming up again at 4:20. What?
Get him out.
No, just somebody texted in. It's just random. Do it on your own if you choose to. It just said, Google the dinosaur with 500 teeth. I just said, Google the dinosaur. So I did. I was curious. You know, I like dinosaurs.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What in the hell is that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
God, man.
Okay. Yeah. One thing we do know that's inherently true
Music.
is...
Did Michael McDonald name that?
No, I don't think so. Is parents, you have an unconditional love for your children. Now, you might do some of the dumbest things imaginable. You know, you might put a Roman candle between your legs and shoot love and do all kinds of stupid things. But you know what? You take that risk. But when it comes to your children, you worry to death. Now, my children are of adult age now, and it doesn't stop me worrying about them and their well-being. So whenever they travel, you know, I'm still the guy like, text me when you get there.
Well, of course, man.
I mean, you
it's
know.
your kid. If it's your spouse,
You just gotta expect it.
just gotta let me know when you get there. It doesn't matter if it's your kid. Hey, the moment you land, you make sure you let me know.
And it's not that you don't worry about your spouse and your significant other. It's just the fact that with your children, you are extra protective. Where are you going? Who's going to be there? Who's going to be home? If you spend the night, I need to talk to your parents, et cetera, et cetera.
Of
Their
course.
parents. Whatever it is, you just go through every precaution that you can to ensure their safety and overall well-being. Whether that be school, on the playground, with their friends, on family events and all that. But that does not change the fact that there are times in your life where your kids can scare the living daylights out of you.
Yeah, for sure.
And you never know what the scenario is.
And generally, it's health related.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
and no other way. It's just their health, their safety. That is it. That's the full extent.
Okay, all right, just dumb stuff like this. At one point in time, my daughter was traveling, and this is a stupid one, but it made me worry. Like, I was like, oh, no. So she's in Colombia, in South America, and she's bouncing around in between towns with one of her friends that she goes to school with, who is from Colombia. So she's getting a really nice tour of a lot of the different cities, and from the coast all the way into the mountains and everything else. So she's going from town to town, spend a couple days here, a couple days there. Not exactly the safest place to travel, but when you're with somebody who's from there and knows the ropes,
That helps.
and you know where to go and where not to go, I felt a lot more comfortable with that.
That's why Mike's going with me to Baltimore.
But yeah, exactly. Man, he's going to take you back to his old high school.
That's first stop.
Yeah.
First
So she sends me a text, and the text says, "Dad, did you know that cocaine is yellow?" And I'm just looking at my phone. I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God!" And I wrote back, "Yes, baby, because it hasn't been stepped on."
Right.
So, but it didn't make me feel any better about the situation.
Well, of course not.
I was worried sick. And what was I doing that day? All kinds of the same stupid stuff.
That's what
that
you
she's
worry
doing
about your kids.
As a 20-some-year-old woman now.
Yeah, that's why we worry about our kids.
But it never goes away.
Right.
Those worries never stop.
Because of whatever age they are, you've already been, and you know what you were doing at their age.
Yeah.
And most of it's dangerous and stupid or illegal or ill-advised, and you know goddamn well your kids are doing this. My thing is like, obviously there's a safety part, but it's like, man, whatever you're doing, if you're smart, you're lying to me, and also don't get caught.
Sure.
That's my general thought process.
My daughter went to Africa last year for 3 months. I was a little bit worried about the area that she was in because she studies international conflict management.
Right.
So they're not going to put her in a happy place. She's not going to Happy Town. She's going to places where there are conflict, whether that be Uganda or Somalia or those areas. And lo and behold, she got into the Peace Corps. So she's going to leave in August, and she's going to be gone for 2 years. I won't see her. That worries me sick.
Sure.
Whether I can communicate with her.
Go get her Nubian prince.
That's right. Trying just to make sure she's okay, doing whatever she's doing. But, you know, the Peace Corps, I know that's a very...
Dad.
Right.
Meet your grandson.
I know.
We named him Mumbatu.
Yeah. She actually dates she used to date a soldier in the Israeli army.
Yeah.
And they would go to Israel together. I'm like, this is not a safe place either sometimes.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in that area as well. So she puts herself in positions where I just worry my ass off. More so with my other daughter, I'm just worried about her well-being because she's a do-to-do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Driving down the road, do-to-do, and I'm just like, pay attention, please. Please pay attention.
I got the same thing. My daughter, it's like you just worry about her in general. There's no particular situation. It's just day to day, like, baby, just be careful. Of what? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but like, same thing, just kind of do. You know, you're the feather that blows in the wind. It doesn't mean a feather doesn't get blown into the grill of a truck. Maybe it lands on someone's, but I don't know. But I know, you know, everyone marches to the beat of their own drum, so to speak. But like, her drum's a full percussion, you know. And she's a separate. Where my son, I'm like, just don't be stupid. And he's a pretty good kid, but like,
That's basically what I tell my daughter.
You can do something. Just don't do something stupid because some of your friends are kind of stupid. And I know which ones of your friends are the stupid friends. So when your stupid friend does a stupid thing, try not to get engaged.
Maybe that should be like a cartoon on Saturday morning. The stupid friend.
The stupid friend.
And then
your parents know the stupid friend.
Teaching you not to hang out with derelicts.
You can hang out with the derelict. I don't mind. Just don't do what the derelict does, right? So I will not mention any of these children's names, but like I know the ones that will get you into trouble. Just do not do what they do. I don't care if you hang out, but when they get punched in their face, make sure it's only their face. They're going to get the ass whipping they're looking for. You're not looking for it. Don't get it.
Now this one would absolutely terrify me. And it's a local story. While hiking with a large family group in the Cascade Mountains on Sunday, 10-year-old Shungla Mashwani got separated from the rest of her
relatives. I was waiting for you to say her name.
Unable to find the footbridge that they had crossed earlier. But she says she knew to continue following the river. The following day, she was located with only minor injuries. Authorities say the area where she was lost is steep, rugged, and remote. I believe they were over in the Cleellum area, if I'm not mistaken. With dense trees and undergrowth. And they praised her resourcefulness, noting that she spent the cold night between some trees and survived in the wilderness for more than 24 hours. If I'm a parent, I'm not going to sleep that night.
Of course not.
I am out with a flashlight yelling my daughter's name. I mean, there's no way. I'm checking the river. I'm doing all kinds of things. Well, she and her extended family, they were hiking in the Cleellum River Valley. They crossed the pedestrian bridge to eat lunch near the Cathedral Pass trailhead. But just before arriving at their lunch spot, they realized the girl was missing. And they searched for her for 2 hours before a resident helped them call police to report her missing by using a satellite phone that they had at their cabin. Now, that area has no cell or radio signal.
Of course not.
So Mashwani was found around 3 p.m. on Monday, about 1.5 miles from where she went missing. And rescuers took her down the river by a boat back to her family. The family says they enjoy hiking in the backcountry because it reminds them of Afghanistan, which they left for the U.S. 2 years ago. So they like going out there, but 24 hours and your kid is missing.
Yeah, in the wilderness.
That has to be one of the most, and whether you know where you are or not, whether they camp there or not, that does not change the scenario.
No, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
if your kid's missing, your kid's missing. your kid knows where you live, but if they don't make it home in 24 hours, that does not bring me any comfort.
And there's some strange number with 24 or a day or 2 or whatever that number is.
Right.
Thank God it's, the weather's milder. It's the, springish summer here
Sure.
in Seattle. So not as bad as it could have been if you're doing some winter camping or fall camping. You never know what's going to happen then. And also the fact that it didn't rain.
Yeah, all that stuff.
That makes it a little bit better, but no different as far as the way a parent feels when their kid's missing for 24 hours.
Yeah. I like it when they go away for 24 hours. Like,
well, you tell the story of your daughter and her doll.
Oh, Jesus, the American Girl doll. And the thing about these dolls, if you don't know, because I did not know, and then you get introduced to the kid world and become a parent, right? So these things, they're about the size of a 2 or 3 year old kid, but a lot of kids get dolls that look like them. Mm-hmm. So if your kid's
by the way, you'll get a catalog for the rest of your life.
Oh, I know. We still get them. So if you have, your kid has red hair with lots of freckles, well, they can get the American Girl doll that looks just like him, right? So my daughter gets one that looks like her. Fine. I don't care, whatever.
But she's a lot younger then.
She was about 3 or 4 years old. Okay. She's almost the exact same size as the doll. But as it is most nights, I'm the last person up in the house. So it's about 1 a.m. Just kind of turning off the lights, make sure the doors are locked, blah, blah, blah. So now all the lights are off and I'm walking down the hall. But you get a little bit of the glow just from outside. And I see my daughter face down in an awkward position in the hallway. And this whole scenario lasted about 3 seconds. But I cannot explain the adrenaline spike as I race down the hall to figure out what's wrong with my daughter. And it's a goddamn doll. It is not my kid at all. But in that moment, man, I'm looking at this doll like, I'm going to light this goddamn thing on fire. Like, I was so angry. And it's a weird thing. You're so happy that it is not your kid. But at the same time, you are enraged that this stupid doll looks just like your kid. So I explained to my daughter, hey, man, the most important thing you can do with this doll, make sure it is in your room, make sure it is face up, and make sure it is somewhere I can see. You cannot leave it face down. And she didn't understand why, but it's like my hands were still shaking even the next morning.
Our question, when did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Tool of Guns N' Roses tickets coming up. The secret word, we'll give it to you at 420. 420 for a chance to win tickets to both those shows. In the meantime, our question, when did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, David. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, Bicola.
Hola.
So it's the late 90s, and I'm out riding my bike with my buddies. And my mom gets a call that I've been hit by a car on my bicycle. And she rolls up to the scene of the accident, and Lifelike is flying off with what she thinks is me. And it's actually a kid with the same exact name as me.
Oh, did you know this other kid?
Not at all. No.
Well, did she help that kid?
No, so the Lifelike flew off. The helicopter flew off with the kid in it as she pulled up, thinking that it's me flying off in the helicopter.
Oh, no.
How long did it take her to find out it wasn't you? Did you go to the hospital?
No, they came to my friend's house, so I was riding bikes at, and we're all piled up there with our little bike gang, and it's all the women, my mom, my aunt, and my sisters, and they are all crying like I've been missing for a decade. And they all latch onto me like you couldn't believe.
Did you have any idea what was going on?
None. They were so hysterical they couldn't even explain for quite some time.
Did you think they had bad news to tell you?
Yeah.
Did you ever find out what happened to the kid who wrecked his bike or got hit?
No, it was just a mystery, but he had the same name as me, the same middle initial and everything.
Wow.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Hey, where did you grow up, man?
In Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. All right. What part of Oklahoma?
In Tulsa.
Okay, I'm so glad you said a place I've heard of. Because a lot of times people name a state.
There's only like 4 or 5 places you can live in Oklahoma, right? Norman's one. Tulsa's
Tulsa,
another.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City's another.
And 3. There are 3 places you can be from in Oklahoma and have any thought that anyone knows where it is.
Where's Oklahoma State? Is that Tulsa?
Yeah, it's in Stillwater. Yeah, right there north of Oklahoma City.
Okay. All right.
Now we know. All right. There you go.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you?
I can't. Sorry, man. I just cannot imagine being that parent. And someone tells you your kid's name down to the middle initial, right? So there's no reason to not believe it's your kid. they got hit by a car, and then see the helicopter take off. He's not wrong. I think I'd be hugging my kids so tight, like, Dad, let go of me.
I would be asking where that helicopter's going, and I'm driving.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
I'm driving to the
mom.
hospital, even if it's an hour or two away.
Okay, but
it's in Oklahoma, so feasibly.
But here's the question I have:
hour helicopter ride.
Because you don't want to look insensitive. Okay, you have the full belief that this is your child. They gave the name. You're speeding in your car. You see the helicopter land. Now you hear that your kid's in surgery, whatever the case might be. All right. The kid, hey, we have good news. I think I'll recover. We'll take you into the room. He's not in great shape, but since you're his mom or dad, you can go in and see him. What do you do when you look at this kid and realize it's not yours? Because you don't want to sound insensitive and be like, oh, woo, hey, dodged a bullet. You know, I mean,
Thank God.
you just kind of, exactly. You can't, that's what you're thinking, but you can't really say that out loud like, woo, thank God he's not mine. That is your thought, but that's just not the plan. I'm just wondering, like, what's the proper protocol? Like, oh, hey, doc, listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. That's not my kid. You called I don't know who his parents are. I don't know how to reach him, but it's got, I mean, a big relief, but you don't want to look like an a-hole. Like, whoo, thank God, dodged a bullet.
No.
I think you then start wondering where your kid's at.
Yeah, that'd be my next thought. But the good news is they're not the one in the bed. So wherever my kid is, it's probably better than
my daughter was playing. She was probably 10 maybe, or 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I can't remember how old she was exactly. But there was a pool at the complex they used to live in Maryland back there. And they had a baby pool and they had a main pool. Well, the parent was not paying attention to their 2-year-old in the baby pool. And my daughter sees this kid face down at the bottom of the pool.
Tell me it's an American Girl doll.
So Ava pulled the kid out, and he got her on the side of the pool and started screaming for help. And it almost seemed like either the parent was on their phone or whatever the deal was, not paying any attention.
Right.
So all these moms kind of rush over in a panic. And then the mom of the kid comes over absolutely hysterical, but they revive the kid. But I mean, to be in a situation where you're reviving your child, I cannot imagine. And the kid was fine. The kid ended up being all right. But still, I mean, if Ava hadn't pulled that kid out,
that kid would not be all right.
How much longer would the kid been down there? And, to be able to revive your kid, that's it's got to be, thank God. But at the same time, your heart's got to be racing.
This doesn't happen anywhere else in the animal kingdom, right? So people tell you, you're on a hike. You see a bear cub. Get away from the bear cub. Mama's going to be mad, right? Say you trip over this bear cub. But instead of just mom, it's like all the bear moms show up. Like you said, all the moms rush.
Right.
Like all of a sudden, there's 40 bears around you, and they're all pissed at you.
Well, a cub could wash down a river or a stream. They find all these abandoned animals, and they take them to a shelter or a rescue or whatever because either their parents have abandoned them or they've been lost.
How does a cub get abandoned by its parents? I mean, what do you have to do? I'm a bear, right? There's like 4 cubs, and for whatever reason, Mama Bear's just like, you're an a-hole.
Right.
I mean, like, what does a bear have to do?
But parents,
I understand that mom could die or something like that, but like to be abandoned, like, what? It's your instinct, man.
You've even seen turkeys turn around like, come on, to the one that's straggling in the back, trying to cross the street or whatever. I mean, animals know the number of kids they have and who's the one dragging up the rear. My question is, what do they?
You're saying the slow one is one.
What do they name them? Like, what do you name that guy in the back? Like, I mean, parents will give you the straight truth. Like, you're being an idiot. Like, what do you name the kid? What does a turkey name the kid in the back?
Like, your parents called you dumbass for a couple years of your life, right? Because you were, right? What does the bear call the stupid cub?
Hank the Tank.
Come on, dumbass. Yeah, Hank the Tank. Come on.
The only animal that doesn't have to worry about that is pandas.
Boy, they're so dumb. How are they still around?
I don't know.
How are panda bears still alive?
Conservation efforts.
Right, but but they're still actively trying to kill themselves through sheer stupidity. If you watch any video of panda bears, you're like, first of all,
it's like letting a kid go to the jungle gym.
Your diet has nothing in it.
No.
Right? I mean, like, what they choose to eat literally gives them nothing. They're dumb as hell. They fall over all the time. I know they're cute. I get that we put in work to protect them, but left to their own devices, I don't understand how panda bears have made it.
They're like giant toddlers. They're just trying to fall off of tall things.
They're like baby Huey if he was real stupid. Do pandas have natural predators? They'd have to be the easiest thing.
I don't think they do.
There's no way.
No.
There's no way. That would be the easiest animal in the wild kingdom to take out. You'd open your mouth, they'd roll into your mouth intentionally.
What did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or when did you? And how did your kids maybe do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Jackals, snow leopards, and yellow-throated martins.
What the hell is that? What's a yellow-throated martin?
I have no idea.
Are you kidding me?
Hang on here.
How are they still around then? I'm a jaguar, man. I'm a stealthy ass cat. You're telling me you haven't eaten every frickin' panda on this earth yet?
No.
I like pandas. This is not anything against pandas. They're just so stupid and clumsy.
Well, but they're also not very. They're not that they're not active, but they're more sedentary and sitting around and trying to eat their weight in food every day. So I would have to think, as far as the bear species go, they are the tastiest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm a jaguar, right, I'm a cat hunter, which means I'm a pretty good hunter by my... How have they not eaten every last one of them? I mean, my God.
Yep.
It's an easy... They're like tater tots sitting on your plate.
No way the yellow-throated marten is an actual predator for a panda. This thing's like a weasel.
Really? Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying about pandas. They're that stupid and easy.
Fair enough.
That's all. Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hola.
All right, so yeah, this is a little story about being worried as a parent. It's an injury to my daughter. She was 5 years old, and I was walking out the door to go to work, and I see her coming up the walk path at 5 years old, screaming. Her face is covered in blood. Her jaw is shifted out of the way. And I was like, what in the hell is happening here? So I didn't even say anything to my ex-wife. I just grabbed my daughter, and I started running down the street because the hospital was like 3 weeks away because we lived in military housing.
Okay.
And my buddy ended up driving down the street. He saw me running. He just stopped. He said, jump in the back of my truck. So we get my daughter there.
How old is she at this time?
About 5, you said.
Oh, about 5. Okay.
5 years old. Yeah, she's about to be 21 now. But, yeah, so we get to the hospital. I'm like, sir, what happened to your daughter? I said, I don't know. They're like, what do you mean? They're looking at me like, I'm a bad parent. Like, I'm like, no. I said, I was walking out to go to work. My daughter was coming in, and I just seen her bloody, and I just reacted and grabbed her and took off. And so they had to adjust her jaw, get her jaw back into place. She had, I think, 12 stitches in her lip and 24 in the inside of her mouth.
Wow.
What did she do? Like, eat a cactus or something?
That's what I was about to say. There was a 12-year-old boy out there, like, messing around with his buddies, and he had an aluminum bat, and he swung it, and it caught her in a backswing.
Oh, God.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Did
Then,
they run, or did they
went to
not
the
stick
house.
around to help her?
Oh, no, they took off running. And so when I got home later that evening, it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock. I went over there and banged on the door. And the mom answered. She was really nervous. He didn't have a dad. He didn't have a father. So I was like talking to this kid, and I was like, look, I said, I know accidents happen. But I was like, you need to stick around and help.
Right.
I know you don't have somebody here to give you kind of that guidance. I said, I'm not here to yell at you because you're a child. And I know, accidents happen, but
6 years from now, I'm going to kill you.
yeah. But, it was just really scary seeing your kid just covered in blood and their jaw was shifted. And I was like, and this is my little girl.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Of all things.
And the jaw.
I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl and her jaw, yeah. So, that was it really scared me. So
I haven't had anything that bad. The only time I saw my kid covered in blood, and I've told this before, she busted her head on the bed frame from the back, and my son's the one that came out to get us, but when you go in, she's kind of face down crying into the bed, but you see the back of her head. There's blood everywhere. You freak out. You clean off the back of her head, and I realize, and look, I'm bald, right? So I shave my head. If you even nick your head, it will bleed the rest of the day. That is just how nature is determined it needs to be. So the mess, the mess was a lot worse than the injury. And when we saw the injury, it's like this itty-bitty cut in the back. It was just gushing blood. We took her to the hospital because we're worried about a concussion. But when we brought her into the hospital, again, I had a white shirt. I very intentionally put on a white shirt, by the way. And, I'm covered in blood. Her head's covered in blood. She kind of has her face nuzzled to my chest. So, we got some real quick treatment that day. And in the end, the doctor said, good news, no concussion. But he's like, oh, the wound itself's not that bad. We're like, we know, man. And we're more worried about the concussion. But, yeah, seeing your kid covered in blood, like, Jesus.
What was he? I took my kid like 2 days before Christmas, and it was like a night 8:30 showing, 9 o'clock showing down here at the cinema down here.
So,
it's the one on top of the mall.
Hold on.
They have a Johnny
about.
Rockets up there.
Yeah, Pacific Place.
Gordon Birch Beer Place and all that stuff. So we go to Johnny Rockets for dinner, and then we go to the movie. It was the Disney movie that was based in New Orleans, in Louisiana.
I don't know the name, but I know which one you're talking about.
I believe that was it, yeah. Okay, so we go to the movie. So we didn't get home until later. And the kids are up, and my daughter's in her top bunk bed, and my older daughter's in the bottom one. And it's like 11:30 at night. And my oldest comes down. She's like, Dad, something's wrong, with my sister. So I run upstairs, and she had basically projectile vomited all over food and everything, and she was having a massive seizure.
She was drunk. This is his cover story.
But she was real. She was probably 11, 12 years old.
That's why this is a cover story.
Okay, big enough that it was very difficult for me to get her down from that bunk bed because she was so big at the time. But that ladder was so, it's a bunk bed ladder.
If you're an adult trying to climb the ladder of a bunk bed, you never want to do it again.
But you can't fireman carry someone down,
right.
So she's still having the seizure. And I mean, I am freaked the F out. I mean, she extracted everything from her body, all sides.
Right.
Like she was, I don't know what the hell caused that. But then again, now I'm in a damn hospital, 1 o'clock in the morning. The paramedics take her away. So, here I am.
Do you ride with your kid or do you have to drive
Here
separate?
I am following an ambulance.
Okay.
To the hospital. I'm just thinking, what in the hell happened? Because up until that point in time, I didn't know about, her being an epileptic or any of that.
Oh, you had no idea?
I had no idea.
Wow, man.
So
I thought you already knew at that time.
No, I had no idea. That was the hello.
Wow.
Yeah, trust me. I called her mom like, hey, man, just so you know, this crap's going down.
Right.
I don't know what the hell the deal is, but it just happened. What did you do?
Of course. That's always the first thing.
Went to eat at Johnny Rockets. I don't know. Maybe it was Dan Snyder. He owns that place.
Right.
Who knows what the hell happened? But either
Stale peanuts.
Exactly. So she rushes down to the hospital. Everybody's just freaked the hell out. And, like anything else, I think I learned that having one of those, like a Grand Mal, is equivalent to someone running a marathon.
Right.
As far as what it does to your body.
Oh, yeah.
So she was just absolutely, even when she came to, she was wiped.
So is it kind of good news when they say she has epilepsy? Because it kind of explains...
Not until you learn about it.
Right. But I mean,
You know what I mean?
okay, at least there's a reason why this happened.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
it's something I have heard of. It is something I've heard is manageable. It's something we can live with this, but now we know that this is a possibility.
Yeah.
So was that her first seizure ever?
So I got her this Life Alert thing, like a really nice necklace. But it was like for kids, and she never wore it.
Of course.
I'm just like, can you just wear it when you're swimming or something?
Kids don't wear it.
Like, riding your bike or something, to let people know in case something happens. They can just look at your, just look at the chain on your neck and it's right there. What you have, all the things.
And you won't do it.
You won't even wear it. But you'll wear every other piece of jewelry you own.
Right.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
By the way, I got an update on why a bear might abandon its cub. Says bears will abandon a cub to give the other cub a better chance to survive. Okay, my follow-up question to that is Mama Bear protecting the sicklier of the two because it needs more help, or is she protecting the healthier of the two because the sickly one is just too much? I don't know, but now I'm curious. I just want to know. Hello, Heather. Welcome to the men's room.
Oh, hello. Sorry, that took forever. Let me get you on speaker.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
you,
can.
Heather.
Okay. Well, mine's not nearly as exciting as all of that. It's not as serious, I guess. I mean, there was a time I was totally unconscious and scared the hell out of my family.
Oh, Heather, now we lost you.
Hello.
Heather?
Hello?
Okay, there we go.
Now we got you.
Why were you unconscious?
This was just recently. It takes about 5 years to diagnose autoimmunity, and I was having what was called hypersomnia flares, and I didn't even know I had lupus, and so I'd be sitting there, and then I'd just be asleep. And you could rouse me, but then if I wasn't walking or talking, I would just fall back to sleep again. And so, I don't know, a year or so ago, it happened, and I was completely and utterly non-responsive for, a few hours, scared the hell out of it, 5 hours. They gave me Narcan, thought I'd overdosed on drugs or something, but I didn't. But my mom was on the phone with my daughter, who was here at the house, who was terrified. And yeah, so that was a whole, but that's not the fun story. That's not the fun story. That
doesn't sound like a fun story.
Good Lord, man.
That does not sound fun, Heather.
I was fine. It took me a few days in the hospital to get my motor skills back, but it happens. Lupus is no fun.
Okay,
Shout out to all the lupus girls out there.
Shout out to the lupus girls.
Don't forget Wednesday night book club night. Lupus Club.
Right? Me and Selena, man, we're holding up the world.
You better read it.
Oh, that's right. Selena
Right.
Gomez, didn't she? What was it, earlier this year, I guess? Did she just
she had
find
to have her whole
out?
liver replaced and stuff.
Okay.
No, she's had it for a long time, I think. I just found out.
Okay,
years
all
ago.
right.
So anyway, no, I called in with probably a much funnier story. When I was about 4, I was in San Diego visiting family. And I was outside playing with my cousin Josh, who was about 8 or 9. And my mom and my Aunt Debbie and my other Aunt Dee Dee were all in the house. And I come, running in to get something to drink. And my bikini bottoms are wrong side out and backwards. And my mom's like, what's going on with your panties, Heather? And I'm like, well, nothing. Me and Josh are just playing sex.
Playing sex?
And playing sex. My mom
God.
says, right, exactly. But hence the scared your parent to death story, right? And my mom goes, what do you mean? What do you mean? And so she starts hyperventilating, and she calls my Aunt Dee Dee in, who's a nurse. And she's like, she says that she and Josh were having sex. Where's Debbie? Debbie, his mom. And Dee Dee says, calm down. She goes, baby girl, how did you play sex? Or she said, why were you playing sex? And I said, to make a baby. Like, duh, And she's
stupid?
like, okay. Like, yeah. And she's thinking, you're 4. How do you know sex has to do with it? Like, what is going on? And then she says, so how did you and Josh do this? And I'm like, well, we just put our peepees together. So now my mom is completely having a conniption, and she's plotting Josh's death and looking for Debbie. And my Dee Dee said, okay, baby, tell Dee Dee exactly how you did that. And where did you do it? And I said, we did it in the doghouse. She's like, oh God, she's just freaking out. And she's like, how did you put your pee-pees together? And I'm like, well, I pee-peed in the dog bowl, and then Josh pee-peed in the dog bowl, and now we're going to have a baby.
How much
Josh says
relief.
that's how you play sex.
Oh,
right.
man.
And so this is right about the time Debbie's walking in the door from going to the store. My mom's in tears, because she's, thinking I've been abused, and how's she going to tell her favorite cousin that her son's a pedophile and, all this stuff. And
Turns out.
really, we just peed in a dog bowl because Josh.
No, that's when you send the text
together,
like,
you can make a baby.
Like, hey, Deb, do me a favor. Ignore that text where I accused your kid of being a pedophile. They were just peeing in the dog bowl.
Right.
My bad.
Sorry, I got your kid biting by his neck against the wall.
Yeah.
Just have a little bit of Californication out in the doghouse. It's fine.
Yeah, that is quite the lead up.
Man,
Well, we did it in the doghouse.
I would have no time for questions. I'm like, where is he?
Yeah, I know. But I think that's why the other aunt's like, just explain to me what happened before he dies.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, it's Mike Hawks. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Couple of quick texts here. Says, when I was 4, I packed my backpack with some crackers and a camera and set off for Alaska. They found me 8 hours later, a couple of miles down the street. See, the thing is, I told my mom I was going to Alaska. She was busy and annoyed, so she said, yeah, sure. So I went. Someone there says, hola, bicholas. When I was a kid, approximately 4 years old, my family went to the Olympics in Atlanta. That is pretty cool. I wandered off, and I've been told it took them 12 hours to find me. That is insane.
And that is a busy,
right.
I mean,
it's the Olympics, man. Massive area, thousands of people. Jesus Christ. Man, oh, man.
that's where the bomb went off, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
One more thing.
And there was a bomb that went off there. Do you know what else about the Summer Olympics in Atlanta this year? Very few people know that. That is where, the floppy inflatable guys outside of like car dealerships and all
like
that.
the Jiffy Lube, whatever, the apartment buildings.
That was their debut.
Huh.
The first time the world saw those stupid things that now every car dealership has was at the Olympics. And at the time, everyone's like, that is amazing.
I still think they're pretty cool when you drive by one. They always make me smile.
They do. And honest to God, if I had one in my home, I would have that thing on almost 24/7.
For parties, people come over.
Oh, definitely.
Just
How
come
will I
in the
find
backyard.
your house?
All you need is a fan.
Oh, you'll know where my house is. Hello, Dusty. Welcome to the men's room.
How y'all doing?
Hola.
So I've been sitting here for quite a while. I have quite a bit of stories, but I'm going to go with the same one. So at around 14 years old, I was a troubled teenager going through some crazy stuff back and forth between mom and dad. And during that time, I ended up meeting up with some really kind of bad people. And they introduced me to smoking crack. And the very first time that I had done that, again, I was a real troubled kid. Some really, really bad stuff happened to me during that whole experience, and it messed me up pretty bad. Now, because it affected me so much, I continued along that path because it was just something that, helped me suppress whatever it was going through. Well, in the process, my parents are constantly just watching me go downhill, downhill, downhill. No parent ever wants to watch their kid, let alone find out their kid are doing drugs. Pot's bad enough, but crack, and then eventually meth. And I spent a good 16 years of my life dedicated to hard drugs like that, whether it was doing lovelies or I was an intravenous meth user, and I wouldn't talk to my parents for months at a time, and I could only imagine. I couldn't, as a parent now of 6 kids, I could not imagine.
Wow. Well, your penis works. Damn.
Yeah, I could not imagine even just one of my children getting into drugs and not knowing where they were, especially hard drugs like that, and knowing the lifestyle they were into and not talking to them for months at a time. So I have to reach out and say, you know what, Mom and Dad, I love you guys, and I'm so sorry. But you know what? I did make it out. I've on July 3rd, this coming up July 3rd, I'll have been sober for 17 years. So,
what got you sober? What helped you make that decision?
Honestly, I think during that time, I'm so kind of broken inside, and I always wanted to quit. And anybody that's been an addict, I don't really believe addicts want to be, messed up. But there was a big difference. Now, a lot of guys or a lot of people will go to these AA or NA. They always tell them that, it's a disease this, it's a disease that. And I call bull. I call complete BS on that. It's a personal life choice. And if you take responsibility for your actions and take responsibility for your choices, ultimately you take that responsibility on instead of using it as a scapegoat. And, I did get in trouble with the law, and I did some crazy stuff at the airport and acted like a fool.
At the airport? What did you do at the airport?
Well,
hold on. Are you the pioneer of this? Because it was that long ago, Now it's a day-to-day thing. People getting crazy on a plane, people getting crazy at the airport. Were you like one of the pioneers of this?
So this wasn't in an actual airplane. It was I didn't even make it onto the plane. So, a couple buddies and I were going to fly down to Las Vegas, and we took a limo from Tacoma all the way up to SeaTac. And in that process, I just happened to be on probation at the time for drugs, and so I couldn't smoke any weed, and they were, so I was drinking Bacardi, and I got completely lit. Well, I had this big present. I had a big package that was wrapped up like a present. It was actually a snow globe for my daughter. And when we went through security, because it was wrapped up like a present, they couldn't actually see it. Now they put it through the X-ray and all that, but they wanted to they took these little pieces of whatever and were testing it and to see if it was a bomb or if it had residue or whatever. And I'm like, they said bomb more times than I could ever imagine. I heard them, but I was super intoxicated. So I was being I was being obnoxious.
Acting like a drunk guy. Sure.
Oh yeah. So by the time they finally pushed me through, as we're walking out to the gate, I had to get something to eat, so I went into the store. Oh yeah, as I'm walking out towards that area, my friends are like, what took so long? And I held that box over my head, and I was like, because they said I had an effing bomb, and I yelled it out super loud. Well, we went and I got a bagel, something to drink. Well, as I was coming out of the store, there was 2 federal air marshals, and the federal air marshals, I thought that my friends had put me on some kind of jackass show.
Okay.
And playing a trick on me. So I started talking crap to those guys, and that didn't turn out well.
But you honestly thought that your friends were pranking you?
I did. I really did. And that didn't work out well for me.
What do they do? Did they interrogate you? Did they put you in a room? Did they just kick you out of the airport?
Oh, yeah.
What do they do?
Yeah, so I was approached because they took me to some secret room in the airport, and I was approached by FBI and ATF and whoever else. And then from that point, I was under arrest for and taken to CPAC Federal Holding for bomb threats with intent to harm. And it all got dropped.
When I saw it's a snow globe, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So I was on house arrest for probably 3 months. And during that time, I had to take a bunch of UAs because I already had a drug record. So, but it was crazy that after I got off the house arrest, I did get a package in the mail, and it was my clothes that they had taken from me, and it was the snow globe, and they'd completely disassembled it. I don't know if they really thought it was a bomb or they did it on purpose. Or
so was it like a dry snow globe?
It was actually a pretty decent sized snow globe. No, it wasn't dry. It actually had water in it.
Okay. I was going to say that would make it impossible, I would think, to smuggle it. I mean, it's one thing if it's when it's snowing, but I mean, you can't have that.
Hey, by the way, Dusty, somebody here, text came in and says, tell that guy congratulations. I'll have 10 years on Monday.
There you go. That's awesome to hear.
Nice.
Seriously.
How old are your kids now, man?
Let me see. 8, 10, 12, 19, 21, and 25.
Wow.
Good God, dude. What the hell is wrong with you?
Did you get a vasectomy yet?
No. No, we're not doing it anymore.
All right.
We're done with it.
Are you sure? Because without the vasectomy, either you or it's abstinence.
Did she get her tubes tied?
No.
Oh, my God, you're rolling the dice.
Congratulations on your 7th in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah,
name him after one of us.
Yeah, there you go. Name him Thrill. That's his nickname? No, we named him Thrill.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen. Happy Friday.
Hola, Positive Friday.
Awesome. Anyway, back in 2002, I decided to go to Korea for the World Cup. And before I left, my folks just begged me. They're like, hey, don't go. You know, there's this real big thing that was happening with Korean American students who go to Korea to, have fun, visit the country and whatnot. But then they end up getting drafted into the army because their parents were still Korean citizens.
So were your parents
half citizens?
Wait a minute. Were your parents still Korean citizens?
Yes, they are.
So legally, you could go to Korea back at this time anyway, and legally they could draft your ass to the Korean military.
But all you wanted to do was see BTS in concert?
Right.
Well, BTS wasn't around in 2002. I wanted to World Cup, yeah. But yeah, there's a ton of people, especially from Washington, who were getting drafted, and they're just like begging me not to go. But like, I'm in college, I'm young. I want to see the World Cup. I want to travel a little bit. So I said, F it, I'm going. So I go, I land. Everything was fun, and I'm like, hell, I'm in Korea. I might as well visit other places. I've never been to China. So I go to China, go to Beijing. Everything's fine. See the Great Wall, eat lots of good food, and just do the tourist stuff. But when I go back to Korea, you know how when you enter and when you leave the country, there's like a green card holder line and there's like a visitor line?
Yes.
So, of course, I'm in the visitor line. And when it comes to my turn, the lady kind of looks at me and she just kind of looks at my picture, my passport, looks back at me, and then she calls her supervisor over. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, you just wait here. So basically they close down the line that I'm in, and then they basically take me to an office, and they're asking me a bunch of questions. Where did I go? Where I'm from? Blah, blah, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm an American. I'm just here visiting. What's the matter? And they're like, well, we kind of need you to prove who you are. I'm like, well, if you have my passport, you obviously interviewed me for a little while. What else can I show you? And they're like, can you call somebody? I'm like, sure, I can call my parents. And they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to lay it down for you. You look just like this on-the-run triad leader, and we might think that you're him and you're trying to flee the country.
The one I'm coming into.
Were you like, are you trying to say all Koreans look the same? See, that's what I would have said.
Right. Well, so I was offended a little bit, but I'm like, this is a joke. It can't be. So I call my parents. I'm like, hey, just don't freak out. These people think I'm some triad drug smuggler who's trying to leave the country. Just tell them who I am. And of course, my mom's freaking out. She's crying on the phone. She's like, yes, he's doing this and that. We live here. This is our address. He was born here, and all this information. I was like, and then of course they let me go. But before I left, I was like, hey, can I see what this person looks like? Just to see. And sure enough, this mother effer looked just like me. Oh my God!
Maybe it was your brother from another mother.
Wow, man.
Maybe he definitely could have been. My goodness, I was like, okay, I get it. I got a good laugh, but I was still freaked the living crap out of my parents.
Yeah, at least you didn't get drafted.
But did you ever worry about that after the fact? Like, if this is a guy, look, and if you're doing the drug thing, I'm sure you have a lot of enemies. Did you ever wonder, man, I hope no one else sees me in some random place like, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Right. Yeah. But another thing, though, when I come back from China to Korea, of course, the line thing, same thing happens. Like, lady looks at my passport, looks at me, looks back at my passport, closes down the line. And I'm like, oh, no, not again. What's going on this time? And then I remember when my parents told me, like, hey, don't go because they're setting up these traps. So, like, if you have, Korean parents, they can draft you. I'm like, oh, crap, this is happening. So she's, like, calling her supervisor over, and I see 2 MP officers walking towards me. And I start freaking out. Like, I start yelling at her. I'm like, hey, American citizen, U.S. passport, let me through. And, like, I just started, like, yelling, and everybody started looking. And she's kind of, like, freaked out. And she just handed back my passport, and I left.
All right. So the MPs did not pursue you?
No. Thank God. Like,
yeah. Have you been back to Korea since?
A couple of times, yes. But none
of those issues based on your age and all the things that, they're not going to draft out.
No, you find out if they ever caught the cat that looks like you?
I wish.
Yeah, I'd be like, you need to find, before I go back, you need to go, you got to find this guy. I mean,
take one of those ancestry tests, find out he's your brother.
We're at the, I told you, dropping off my friend who works for the DOD, but she was at Fort Lewis. Whatever, spent the night with us. We all went out. We got messed up. We go to drop her ass back off. And you got to show ID when you go through the gate, which is no big deal. And immediately, man, and real intent, pull the vehicle over here. And the first words out of my wife's mouth are, what did you do? Oh, my babe. Listen, man, I've done a lot, but I promise you, I have done nothing that needs military intervention. You know what I mean? You pick your battles. That ain't one that I'm going to fight. But we're in the car for a while. But while we're sitting there, and we don't know why we're here or what is going on, but more and more, and I don't know if they're the MPs or the soldiers, whatever, more and more guys keep gathering to the side of the car. They keep staring into the car, and all of them kind of have their M16s like in their hands. It's not strapped over them anymore. And I'm like, so they're getting kind of nervous. And I'm like, look, man, whatever this is, it's a mistake. I know this is a mistake, or one of the two of you is doing something I know nothing about. But I'm like, but somehow I knew it was going to be me. Sure enough, it's me. I have to step out of the vehicle, and these guys, they say my name. Are you Stephen Hill? It's like, yes, you're looking at the ID. Obviously, I'm that guy. No, I'm being real cool, being real calm, because, again, I know this is a mistake. So, have you ever been to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany? My brother, I've never been to Germany in my life. I have now, as a result of the Seahawks game, but at that point, I've never been to Germany in my life. Hang on. Wait there another 10 minutes, and the whole thing was, get back in the vehicle, do not step out of the vehicle. We don't care if you have to pee, blah, 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 the whole nine. I'm like, guys, fine. They finally come back. I don't know how they figured out I was not the guy they were looking for, but someone else named Stephen Hill, possibly with the same middle initial, I do not know, did something at Ramstein Air Force Base. And they would not tell me what it was, but whatever it was, whoever you are, it was kind of a big deal. If you're listening, it's a big deal, and they remember. And they're very unhappy, and I think they might want to kill you. But because I was like, what did this dude do, man? They're like, we cannot tell you what it was, but they're like, it wasn't good. And like I said, it happened at an Air Force base, and I was like, bro, but they did say, once they cleared it all up, the guy did say, hey, just for the rest of your life, even if you have the opportunity, you specifically, if you have the opportunity to go to Ramstein Air Force Base like on a tour, they were like, don't.
Just don't.
That's it. Mm-hmm. No problem. That's the easiest ask. That is the easiest thing. But you know what's going to happen? Like, we'll go to Germany again, go back to Munich. Something will happen. I don't know. For somehow be transported to Ramstein Air Force Base with like an injury. That'll be the place they take me. And they're going to let me die or bleed out or something.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Man, now I feel kind of silly calling you guys because everyone else has like way cooler stories. But
I don't know if they're
one,
cool.
but I thought, Well, okay, not cool, but I had one that I thought maybe was just a little bit too dark, and so I went with the latter. And I'm not going to do this to Mike, and because he already, screening and all that stuff. So basically,
Thank you.
We moved out. I'm not going to switch it up on you guys, but we moved out here. My family moved out here in 1990 from Michigan. When we first got here, we stayed with my aunt in Tukwila. So my mom didn't have a vehicle, and she raised me. She was a single mom, and so her and my aunt were they were in the living room doing like Avon catalog stuff or whatever. Not to date myself, but that's how long ago that feels. But so they were doing their thing, and my mom just let me watch cartoons. I think I was watching like Looney Tunes or something. I had a nosebleed, like just a little nosebleed. So my mom handed me a box of Kleenex tissue, and you know how they used to tell you, like, pinch your nose and tilt your head back so that you can just, like, swallow your own blood, basically?
Yeah.
Well, at least that's what, when I was a kid, that's what they would tell us to do. But so my mom, after the cartoon was over, I had already run out of tissue, like a full box of Kleenex tissue, and there was like bloody tissue everywhere. And it didn't hurt, and I didn't think anything of it, but I was just tired of like tilting my head back. So I was just letting it bleed onto the tissue. And it turns out, well, I didn't know this, and I was really little at the time. And I asked my mom for more tissue because I had run out, and she looks over and sees all this bloody tissue on the floor. And I was, oh my gosh. So I wasn't freaking out until my mom started freaking out, because I think Steve, I think you had mentioned that, was it your daughter that had like a small little something, but there was like
cut
a
the
lot
back of her
blood.
head. Yeah, no, her whole head was covered in blood, hair matted, the whole thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, like, and I'm sure to your daughter at the time, when that happened, it probably didn't really even seem like anything. And I'm just like, okay, well, it's just blood, no big deal. And my mom just starts losing it. And because we had literally just moved to Washington like a week or two prior, I want to say. And so my mom's freaking out. She calls 911, and an ambulance shows up, and there's like all this bloody tissue. My nose is still bleeding all over the place, and I'm just like, where are we going? And I was wearing I remember I was wearing like a Disney nightgown, and I remember we're in the ambulance, and I told my mom, I said, Mom, I forgot to put on panties, and I was like super embarrassed because I wasn't dressed. And my mom was like crying and freaking out. We get to the hospital, the ER, and apparently I had ruptured a blood vessel up in my, like, close to my sinus, and it's just one of those bleeds that just doesn't stop.
Sure.
Or, like it. So, I just remember that in the ER, the nurse and the doctor, they were so nice, and they took like this really long Q-tip with, for lack of better words, I wouldn't say it was second skin, because I know that stuff hurts, but whatever they used, they stuck it up in my nostril, and it kind of tickled, and it just basically, like, glued it to where it would like suppress or stop the bleeding, I guess.
Hey, Jess.
Yo.
We need to take a break, but I need you to breathe. Inhale. Let's choose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We'll be right back.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, we will drink and toast in the weekend with a shot of the day. But it's Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday.
It's Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday.
Hey, man, this is your fault.
Yeah, Mom.
Right there, we got a Men's Room Radio inspired Bad Choice Friday.
Yeah.
The Men's Room Radio station available exclusively on the Odyssey app on the Men's Room page. We put in 100 new tunes. So we picked 2 of the newer selections that we added to the Men's Room Radio station.
Correct.
So who in the hell would pick Christopher Cross?
And I've got such a long way to go, such a long way to go, to make it to the border of Mexico. So I ride like the wind.
Ride like wind.
Christopher Cross and Ride Like the Wind. Take it on the Doobie Brothers.
Taking it to the street. No more need for running.
As we said before, double dose of Michael McDonald.
That is correct.
On
You're
a Bad
welcome.
Choice Friday. I don't know who put the Doobie Brothers in there or Christopher Cross. It's up to you. We'll tell you when we get a winner coming up here right after we drink and toast with a shout of the day. In the meantime, you can vote now if you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. So will it be Christopher Cross or the Doobie Brothers coming up? In the meantime, our question, when did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Alice. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hi. Hola.
Hola.
So, this happened quite a few years ago. I have 3 kids. Let me tell you, by the time you get to the third one, your brains are scrambled eggs, and you're letting them all toss night. It doesn't matter, right? So, right before my daughter's third birthday on Christmas morning, she gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Mommy, Santa, present. Well, baby, go back to sleep for a little while longer. She threw herself on the floor and faked a seizure.
She faked a seizure?
Yes.
Now,
at 3 years old.
Did you know she was faking it because she wanted to open presents, or did you think she might be having a real seizure?
Oh, no, let me tell you how awkward it is to tell 911. Never mind, she just sat up.
So you thought she legitimately was having a seizure?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we figured at that point she was going to be in the theater arts, and that's what she's going to college for now.
I'll be damned.
Is she really going to college for that now?
Absolutely.
Was she always a drama queen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's your first sign.
To see, well, and being a mother of 3, that's not even the worst story. The worst story is when her oldest brother glued his younger brother's eyes with super glue.
Both of them?
Glued his eyes shut?
Both of them glued his eyes shut.
Huh. Did he know it was super glue, or did he think it was eye drops?
He thought he says to this day that he thought it was eye drops, but let's face it, when he put his sister's hand on a lit light bulb and burned it, I'm pretty sure it wasn't an accident.
No, probably not.
All right, what does he do now?
He actually works at a bakery in Linwood decorating cakes.
The man who's burning people and gluing their eyes shut, you're telling me he has the delicate hand to decorate cakes?
Yes, he does.
Believe it or not, I have seen someone with their eyes glued shut.
Really?
Yes, I have. It was on Pornhub.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I can tell you they're open now. It's just a little Vaseline over a couple of days, and they opened right up.
For a couple
days. Eyelashes for a while.
It took 2 days for his eyes to open?
About 2 days, 2 to 3 days, yeah.
Was that doctor's advice, or was this like the home remedy?
No. This is doctor's advice.
Okay.
Just put Vaseline on it for a couple of days, and his eyelashes were gone for a while.
But you said it took 2 days for him to be able to open his eyes.
So he's like a little baby kitten.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
God damn.
Good news. When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
All right, so I was in Iraq in 2006, 2007. I was able to call home, I think around like Thanksgiving time or something like that. Well, on the base I was at, I was talking to my mom, and we were getting mortared. So when you get mortared, they cut all internet and phone lines. So got mortared, got disconnected from my mom, and I was like, well, I'm going to go to bed. I went to bed. A couple days later, I was like, I should probably call my mom back. Totally forgot to call her back after we got mortared. So that phone call went probably as well as you can expect from my mom thinking that I got blown up in Iraq.
Did she just immediately burst into tears?
Yes, and a whole bunch of other words I can't say.
Now, were you, when you finally got around to calling your mom back, were you anticipating that, or did you think she'd just be like, oh, I thought you'd be okay?
Well, I totally forgot that we got mortared because it happened on a regular basis.
Right.
So it kind of just, skipped my mind that I was on the phone with my mom.
Jesus.
Oh, damn. So she had to remind you, obviously.
Also, she doesn't know who's calling. She knows the number that is a military number, but it could be somebody else calling on your behalf. When she picks that phone up, she doesn't know if it's going to be you or your supervisor or whoever.
Yeah, so from the call center I was in, the calls would either get routed through Hawaii that California is in up here, or California to Montana or something like that. So it'd always be a weird number calling her.
Ah, okay. How often did you get to talk to? How old were you, and how often did you get to talk to your mom while you were there?
I had just turned 21 when I went over, and then I talked to her, I don't know, every month. But that was just because I didn't want to call home.
Why didn't you want to call home?
Just because she was worried. And I was like, nothing's really. I was pretty safe, relatively, on the base I was at.
Just getting more.
I didn't want to worry her.
You don't want to feel like having that conversation with her every single time?
Yeah, exactly. When I was in Afghanistan, that was a different story. I could only call home like every 2 or 3 months.
Now, does she know that when you're going there, or as a parent, do you just have to anticipate how often your kid can call?
I kind of, at the time, I didn't know where I was going to be at in Iraq or Afghanistan. So
all right.
It was, I'll call you whenever I can. If you don't hear anything, take it as good news.
Well, at least you didn't have to go to Camp Lejeune.
See, that's what I was telling my wife. Like, if I'm flying somewhere, she's always like, hey, call me when you get wherever. I'm like, babe, I'm on a plane.
You're right.
I don't, listen, if I don't make it, let me know nothing happened. Like, hey, if the plane crashes, you're going to know about it. They don't not cover that on the news. So listen, if you don't hear that a plane crashed, I made it.
Where are you staying? Hotel downtown. What's it called?
I don't know.
Remember.
I don't know.
It's on my phone.
Honest to God, like
I don't know. It's close to where the Bean is in Chicago. I don't know.
It's the thing, like I don't know where it is.
Somewhere downtown. What did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Michelle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Hola.
Doing great,
well.
Michelle. Thank you.
So, my youngest Sam seems to always be getting himself into different scenarios, but last year he was 9 years old, and I was shortening some, I was putting away some cable cords and some, chargers with zip ties, and he grabbed some off the table without me looking and went into the other room and made a necklace out of them. And then when he panicked, he cinched it.
Oh.
And then when he panicked some more, he took his scissors and tried to cut the soft tissue in front of his throat.
Oh, God.
Before walking into the kitchen looking blue, and obviously I turned him around and cut it off the back real fast. But for a minute, I obviously panicked.
Well, sure.
He was panicking and practically passing out, but he was fine. He just had ligature marks on him for a couple days.
Oh, that's a great look when you go to school.
Excuse me. What is going on there with your neck, kid?
Yeah.
Was there any residual weirdness with him?
You start drooling or do worse in school?
Say your name a little slower.
Damn. Yeah, he definitely had a cough, and his voice was not quite the same, but these seems to happen in our family a lot, these random acts of just
stupid.
What the hell was that?
Well, it's kind of like they're, those stupid warning labels, and you're like, why are these on these packages?
No, especially with blinds and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
You know what? You're right. You may have answered. The warning labels are there for kids. He's like, who would take a toaster into the bathtub? And now would say it out loud like a kid.
Who would rip the tag off this mattress? Well, at least you got your junk door cleaned out.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I really need to do that.
What is this?
The junk drawer.
What does this go to? What is this cable plug in? Is this an old phone or is this an old camera?
We must have 15 of those cables. And I'm like, look, can we throw these out? Because obviously,
as soon as you do, you're going to need the
find
charger
the damn thing.
Exactly.
But I'm like, what? But we don't know what this goes to. Right. Does anyone know what this goes to? Right?
You will find out as soon as you throw it away.
I know, but I feel like that's how life messes with you, right? Like you're going to keep this for the rest of your life, and you'll never need it. But if you throw me away, whatever I go to will malfunction on trash day. It's a guarantee.
Yep.
It's like if you lose something in the house, if you really, really want to find it, buy the replacement. And when you get home, there it will be.
Last one for me was I had a little handheld Dyson vacuum cleaner.
So it
looks like a little gun, right?
Yeah.
And they're great for your car. They're great for doing steps, all the stuff like that. Especially kitty litter back in the day when I needed to clean that up off the floor. At any rate, at some point in time, I had this thing hanging up, but it was not charged. And I looked at this cord, and I'm like, what is this cord? I don't use this cord. I've never even seen this cord. So I threw the cord, I threw it away. And then I went to use the vacuum cleaner, and I realized that the battery on it had died. Well, I did not plug it in because that was the cord that I threw away. So I had to get on the damn Amazon and order the cord from them. And then, of course, when it comes in, it's the exact cord I threw away.
At least that's the beauty of Amazon. For the most part,
they get me out of all kinds of sticky situations.
You can replace the thing. Yes, it's going to cost you money, but you throw it away.
Man, my toilet's been running for 2 days. And I don't know what you know about the city water, but it's not what you use. It's what goes down the drain.
Right, so you're just paying for the toilet.
I'm just paying for this thing. And I got on Amazon, man, and ordered a stopper. And they had that damn thing to my house in the afternoon.
That's right. You said that's the one that was riding out.
I ordered in the morning. I'm like, man, I don't have time to stop by. The Stoneway Hardware closed down, close to my house. So I don't have time to stop into a hardware store, go to Home Depot. So I just got on Amazon. Like, I'll be damned. I'm gonna have that this afternoon.
And we were saying this yesterday, right? Miles and I are talking off air, and there's certain things I wish kids still had to go through that we had to go through, like the inoculation shot where they jam that bitch in your shoulder and it hurts like a mother, or now they have the vaccine against chickenpox. I'm like, that's crap. I want to be able to tell you.
I just got it.
Right. I want to tell you to stop picking that thing that itches so bad. But everything we ordered as a kid, it did not matter what it was. 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. Period, right? And the minute you put that stamp on an envelope and send it off wherever, you check that mailbox every single day for 6 to 8 weeks. And it was an agonizing wait. Now, kids, man, I want to say it was like a Halloween costume or something. Like last year, this is what the kid decided they want to be. The thing arrived like 2 hours later. I'm just like, man, you need to go through the suffering of
Same
anticipation.
with shows. They can binge watch a show. We'd have to wait every single week to.
You binge watches everything.
And not only that, but there were 16 episodes in a season back then,
and we had to wait.
It took longer and longer.
And he watches the whole thing. Granted, I'm doing that with Yellow Jackets, but I've earned my stripes, man.
Also, back then there was a cliffhanger. They always had a cliffhanger at the end of the show, and then you had to wait another week. And it's just like now you can just click on the next episode.
The next thing. My son bitches when there's commercials.
Yeah.
Because he's so used to YouTube and all the stuff, right? That's where most of the crap
is. They put commercials on there.
They do, but you can still zip through. So every once in a while, we'll watch something where they won't allow you to fast forward through it. And I mean, it's a 30-second ad, man. It's not even a commercial break. Like, this is a 30. They have the counter ticking down. And you would think we just told him we're going to go to a church sermon in Utah for 45 hours.
That's why a lot of these kid shows do tons of product placement.
Yeah,
with no
because the kids can't get through the commercials.
That's how you have to do it.
Dad, can you get me a Tide Pod to wash my clothes in the Black & Decker washing machine? It's like
no coincidence. Everyone at the table is eating McDonald's.
Right.
When did you unintentionally worry your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Michelle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello?
Hola.
Hola.
Positive Friday, Michelle.
It's going great. How's yours?
Doing really well, really well. So was it you or your kids?
Me.
Okay.
My kid's good. I was bad.
What'd you do?
When I was 11, I ran away with my friend's older brother to Tijuana and helped to bring people back over the border from Mexicali that were hiding in the back of the truck. So
what? How when you were 11?
Yeah, 11.
What were you, the one that was supposed to be the daughter in the car or something? So it looked like a family?
They basically said, like, if you want this girl to get back in America, you're going to let this car over the border. You know what I mean? So,
Wait. Hold on. Were you aware of this whole scheme?
Yeah, but, I just played I don't know, I was just there for have fun,
How old was the dude that you went with?
I don't know. It was I went over to my friend's house. Like, I ran away from home. Not saying, told you I was a bad kid. Ran away from home and went over looking for my little girlfriend so we could go, run around, muck around about town. And her brother answered her, said she wasn't home. He's like, but I'm going to Tijuana tonight. You want to come with? I'm like, sure.
Did you guys get people back across the border successfully, or did you get stopped?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You got them over the border?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a crazy 11-year-old story if I've ever heard one.
I was not doing anything like that at 11. How long were you away from home?
I moved out when I was 14, so I've been a little on my own, doing my own thing for years. But
all right. Okay.
What do you do now, Michelle?
Well, I'm old now. I'm a grandma.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, full-time grandma.
Hey, you made it.
That's not a bad gig.
Good God. If my 11-year-old called me to say, hey, Dad, funny story, I'm in Tijuana. I'd be like, what?
I'm just drinking tequila.
Man, we're smuggling people over the border. What?
Here for the drugs, Dad.
11. Jesus.
What did you unintentionally wear your parents to death, or how did your kids do it to you? 206-803-ROCK. My kid goes down all the time, but she's like, you got to get back before nightfall.
Yeah, right, but she's in San Diego.
Yeah, you can go down, take the train during the day, but just do yourself a favor. In most situations, just make it home before the sun goes down.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
Little story about Germany reminded me of a time when I was a teenager back in the 90s in Mississippi, and my mom was going to help me kind of fight a speeding ticket. So we go through all there. Everything gets dropped. And well, like, when you steps aside, you're under arrest. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, what'd you do now? It's like, I didn't do anything. So come to find out, there was some guy, same first and last name, same middle initial, whose social security number was 1 digit off. It took about an hour to convince them I am not this 30-something-year-old guy you're looking for.
Wait, how old are you at the time?
Was it 16 at the time?
That's a little weird.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. They're like, but look at my card. This is also the time Mississippi used your social security number as your driver's license.
Oh, okay, all right. So did they detain?
Yeah,
did they detain you?
They tried to. My mom basically started screaming at them because they hit the wrong.
Okay, all right, man.
It was just really confusing for a while, but yeah, I mean, it was just dropped, but it was still annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying. I mean,
my mom's sitting there the whole time thinking, well, she's my mom, so she tried to help me get out of it, but she still look at me like, what did you do?
Look, man, as
Every
a
parent's
parent,
gonna do that.
like I said, I'll get an email from the school, and I'm raging quietly as we're doing the show. My wife will text me like, it's not what you think. Do not kill them. I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know, because they give such limited information.
That's right. We've got Ted versus the FCC on the way, and guess what? A chance to win Tool and Guns N' Roses tickets. We'll give you that secret word to text in coming up at 4:20, 8 minutes from now. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Mike Hawks. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
So busy. First and foremost, the secret word for your chance to win tickets to see Tool and Guns N' Roses. The secret word is sober. Text sober to 206-803-ROCK now. Your chance to win tickets to not only Tool, but Guns N' Roses. The secret word is sober. Keep in mind, lovely Taryn Daly has another chance for you to win with a different word at 7:16 tonight.
I love her round numbers. 7:16.
See, we do it at 4:20 because we think hopefully you'll remember that, but if you know 4:20, most of you don't. And
But
you
even
won't
then,
remember it.
we still did it at 4:24.
Yes, the secret word again is sober. Text sober to 206-803-ROCK. All right, coming up, we'll drink a toast into the weekend with a shot of the day that it's Bad Choice Friday time.
It's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
And today on Men's Room Radio inspired Bad Choice Friday. Where do you find the Men's Room Radio station? Exclusively on the Odyssey app. On the Men's Room page, we have added another 100 songs. So
That's
what
right.
we did was we took 2 of the new tunes and put them up against each other. Now, each of us got a chance to put 25 more songs in.
That is correct.
So maybe you can figure out who the hell wanted Christopher Cross.
And I've got such a long way to go.
Michael McDonald.
To get to Mexico.
Yes.
I mean, brother, again, it's not. We had an 11-year-old and went to frickin' Tijuana. Come on, Chris.
Rock back, people. Yeah.
I mean, just
Still takes a minute.
Christopher Cross and Ride Like the Wind taking on whoever in the hell picked the doobies.
What are you taking to the street? Now,
Music.
I only hear what you thought he said then. That is all
I make
I
up
will
lyrics
ever
all
hear.
the time on stuff. It makes it more entertaining for me. Vote now. If you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, will it be the Doobie Brothers? And Taking It to the Streets, or Christopher Cross and Ride Like the Wind? One of those 2 tunes coming up right after we drink and toast with a shot of the day. Okay, time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Couple on frigging the parents out there, guys. Ola When I was in the 4th grade, I contracted pneumonia. It was bad. High fevers, couldn't stand up without passing out, hurting myself, hospitals, doctors, out of school for almost 3 months.
Jeez.
My mom took me to several doctors, and they all said there was a pretty good chance that I would not survive. My teacher and the school principal came to visit me with individual get well cards for my kids in the classes.
And homework.
They actually made that a class project. A lot of that time is a haze, but I remember my mom taking me to Toys R Us after a doctor appointment and telling me that I could have anything I wanted. As I was so sick, I just asked to go home. That's when she cried. Obviously, eventually I got better. I did ask later if that Toys R Us offer is still on the table, but that didn't fly. Happy Positive Friday, guys. That from Terry.
By the way, Mike, if you go to Baltimore, Toys R Us is known as Weeby Toys.
All right.
Yes.
Yep. He's going to take you there.
Yeah.
After he takes you to his 4 high schools.
Let's go.
One more
It was
question.
only 3 high schools. I was
All right.
expelled 4 times.
So just
let
be the
us get
afternoon.
it right. There are 3 separate high schools.
In order. Gentlemen, as my mom tells it, I was buckled into my car seat in the back seat, and she had left to chat with a neighbor just for a minute. Well, being the curious 18-month-old, I Houdini'd myself out of the car seat, released the parking brake, since our driveway was sloped, drove the car down toward the street. My then pregnant mother chased the car down enough to turn the wheel so I would not go into the ditch instead of a busy road. It was not the last time I scared her like that, but that was the most memorable. Thanks, Mom. That from Nick, the pizza guy. As we move on to the birthday emails, we have a few. Hola, guys. Today is our youngest Hellspawn's 6th trip around this blue marble. Can we get goofy telling him how much fun Disneyland or World will be next spring? How about that, Steve? At 6 years old, you're going to Disney World or Disneyland.
Why asking me? Talk to Goofy.
Unlike your kids. Lots of love that from Dad, Mom, and Logan.
Well, gosh, it's true. Old Goofy refused to take his kids to the happiest place on earth because Thrill's a bad dad. But not your parents. Hopefully they take you to Disney World or even more to Disneyland. And here's the one thing they don't want to tell you, but Goofy's going to let the old cat out of the bag. They're going to buy you anything you want because Disney has reasonable prices on everything.
Sure they do. Only guys, double thing here, birthday and on today's topic. Both my daughters have type 1 diabetes. It's become extremely prevalent in the Pacific Northwest, and doctors aren't sure why, but with each diagnosis, there was a terrifying drive of me following an ambulance from Centralia Hospital to Marybridge in Tacoma late at night. Today is the day that my youngest daughter, Caitlin, turns 10 years old. I am forever jealous of her having the coolest series of numbers for her birthday, 6, 9, 13. So if you could all talk all over each other about not forgetting to add the insulin for everything you eat, that would be much obliged. That from Jake. Yeah, kid.
Jeez,
you got to take
definitely
it every single day.
Treat it like
If you
it's
don't
a
do that,
sugary
the kid's
cereal.
gonna worry
Make
about
sure
it.
you do.
That's
Good
the number one
Lord,
thing.
man. It's for
One
your
thing I
own
hate
health,
is
but
just
your
making
sakes,
sure you get those numbers,
congratulations.
right? Exactly. Ola Bacholos, I want to wish my son Ethan a happy 13th birthday. So proud of you and hope you win the championship in 12U baseball. Can he get a collage of farts, Mike, please? Thanks, guys. That from Troy. Guys, today marks my 24th lap around the sun. Been listening for many years, and none of my friends have been cool enough to give me a men's room birthday shout-out. The best gift a man could receive. Perhaps I should forgive them for their small brains. I took it upon myself to make sure the shout-out happens. Could I get a massive bong rip? And she wants the D, and she's going to get one. Love you guys and everything you do. Keep on rocking. Thanks, that from Connor.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one.
Guys, please wish my niece, Michelle, pronounced Poopsie, a very happy 40th birthday. Please have Miles do some Dad Joke Friday about turning 40. Love, Uncle Johnny. Well, I'm just going to do some jokes because instead of inspirational quotes on Friday,
it's Dad Joke Friday. Dad Joke Friday.
Dad Joke Friday. So here's some dad jokes for you. Okay, here we go. A ship carrying red paint and a ship carrying blue paint collide in the middle of the ocean. Both crews apparently are marooned.
Mike's face.
What do you call a bundle of hay in a church?
I don't know.
Christian Bale. And just so you know, people in Athens rarely get up before sunrise because dawn is tough on Greece. Dad Joke Friday. Well, I want to wish my stud of a husband a happy 44th birthday. He's an amazing husband, married for 20 years. His name is Anthony, which he later re-emailed me to make sure we got that one right.
Anthony.
Let's see here. I want to send a bong hit, a Wendy Williams, and the Dirty German talking about how I can make his birthday night extra special. Thanks so much from his wife, Michelle.
Yeah, tonight for your birthday, to make it more special, I'll be joining your wife in the bedroom. And because your name is Anthony, I created a new sex move just for you called the Tony Boney.
All the guys, I'm sure my girlfriend forgot to send in the shout out again, so here I'll do it again. 47th trip today, moved to Georgia February of last year from Puyallup. It's getting hot here. And I do miss the Pacific Northwest and the legal green. Man, that was one thing when I went to North Carolina. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Weren't you smoking a joint in front of the hotel or something?
I was, and then they came out and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm smoking a joint. They said, that's illegal here. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Where the hell am I? Then I went to the airport at 10 a.m. and tried to get a beer on a Sunday on the flight home. And I said, I'll take a beer and a shot of Jameson. And the guy says, we're not going to serve you a beer and a shot of Jameson. I said, why not? He said, we don't serve till noon here. It's Sunday. I said, where the hell am I?
You left Oz to go to Kansas.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, basically.
Man, oh, man. What kind of crap hole did I fly into?
North Carolina.
Let's see here. Yeah. It's getting hot here in the Pacific Northwest, the legal green. Let's see. When they try to call me a Yankee, I tell them I'm from the Pacific Northwest, bitch. We're pioneers.
Bitch.
So can I get green beans and some dad jokes from Miles? Thanks, guys. That from Mark.
Green bean. Green bean.
Okay.
Green bean.
Yeah.
Dad joke Friday. A panic-stricken man exclaimed to his doctor, you have to help me. I think I'm shrinking. Now settle down. The doctor calmly told him, you'll just have to learn to be a little patient. Here's one from yesterday. The difference between a numerator and a denominator is a short line, but only the fraction of people will get that joke. And finally, this morning, Suri said, don't call me Shirley. I accidentally left my phone in airplane mode. Dad joke Friday. Good morning, gentlemen. It's my brother from another El Guapo Perez's 48th travel around the sun. Could you play the turtle having sex? And Alan Thicke, oh, look out. Followed by Mike saying, that's how we do it on the farms in the claw. Yeehaw. Thanks, guys. That from Crunchy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, look out. That's how we do it on the farms in the claw.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Okay, if I do just a couple extra of these dad jokes, because I got a couple of this list, and I just want to get them over with.
I have to annoy my kids.
I try to do new ones every week, so I'm going to get rid of the ones I have. Which days are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are just weekdays. Dad joke Friday. Guys, I just found out I'm colorblind. The news came out of the purple. I'm colorblind.
That's so stupid.
Dad joke Friday. My wife asked me the other day where I got so much candy. I said, I always have a few Twix up my sleeve. Dad joke Friday. And one more. Of all the innovations in the last 100 years, the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable. A couple extra emails. Subject, porcupine. Guys, my brother's dog once killed a porcupine. The encounter nearly killed the dog, too. She was one of those dogs that couldn't give up until it was dead. Dog lost an eye. Several quills went down her throat.
Jeez.
And she could never walk normal again. It took a vet multiple hours to get them all out. They are not something to screw with. That from Dave.
Thanks for the update.
And Spanaway.
I planned on headbutting one later today.
Okay. What else? What happened with the water? Fellows, not exactly with water, but when I was in college, a dorm I lived in had a really big space underneath the room doors. Well, there were two guys in particular that lived across the hall from each other and were constantly pranking each other. When one of them was finally declared the winner, he took the biggest pan he could find, and he and a couple other guys peed into it until it was full. Then they put it in the freezer. That night, while everyone was asleep, he cracked the now frozen slab of pee out of the pan and slid it under the other guy's door. Guy wakes up in the morning and finds a huge pool of pee in the middle of his room with no explanation. That is the best prank ever. That from Greg in Mukilteo.
I don't know that I would have ever thought to do that.
Coming up, we'll drink a toast to the weekend with a shot of the day, but first...
And now, everyone's favorite daytime game show, where one person could lose $325,000 and their job, or win, and walk away with nothing. It's time for Ted versus the FCC.
Oh, God. Wow. Steve and I, Mike, were up late last night coming up with some tongue twisters for Ted, and we forgot that Ted's out of town visiting his family.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you didn't bring that up.
He's not even here,
totally
man.
forgot, man.
We walked in today, and we're like, oh, that's right, no Ted.
Damn
Like, he
it.
wasn't here yesterday. How did you guys forget
Because, hey, once the show's done, we focus on the next one, Mike.
You know what? That's fair.
That is what we do.
So, because we're slackers, we decided, why don't we just play every miss from Ted versus the FCC? And the bottom line is this. Look, when Ted screws up, the way the dump button works, we are on a delay. So when we hit that, you cannot really tell where he messed up. So we have 7 that he missed?
7 misses, yeah.
7 misses.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do today, halfway point of the year, is play you, and how many wins? Do we know that?
I did. Give me just a half.
Is he better than his losses?
He's pretty well even, but I do believe, yes, he is above 500. I think it's close, but I think he is 8 and 7.
Right.
So, yeah, he's right there.
So keep in mind, if you join us for the Men's Room Happy Hour later on exclusively on the Odyssey app at 6 o'clock, we will play the unedited version of this clip. Mike, hit the right one.
Okay.
Because we have one that's edited, you'll be able to figure out the cuss word. But later on in the Happy Hour, you will hear the actual slip, as we don't have to worry about the rules as far as cussing and everything else. But if we could now, let's go back in time to every single miss so far this year in Ted versus the FCC. Chess.
Peter Willie is a proper wussy petter, but Peter pets your wussy better. Pretty women with proper pet wussies prefer Peter Willie to get their wussy pet.
3 times fast.
Peter Willie is a proper wussy petter, but Peter pets your wussy better. Pretty women with proper pet wussies prefer Peter Willie to get their wussy's pet.
1.
Peter Willie is a proper wussy petter, but Peter pets your wussy better. Pretty women with proper pet wussies prefer Peter Willie to get their wet. Buck is a fig plucker. Buck plucks figs. Buck's the best fig plucker that ever plucked a fig. Sam is a sheet slitter. Sam slits sheets. Sam's the best sheet slitter that ever slit a sheet.
3 times fast.
Buck is a fig plucker. Buck figs. Oh, jeez.
3 times fast.
Buck is a fig pucker. Buck pucks figs. Buck's the best fig plucker that has ever plucked a fig. Sam is a sheet slitter. Sam sheets slits. Sam's the best sheet slitter that ever slit a sheet.
2, 1.
Buck is a fig plucker. Buck figs.
3 times fast.
Buck is a fig plucker. Buck plucks figs. Buck's the best fig plucker that ever plucked a fig. Sam's a sheet slitter. Sam slits sheets. Sam's the best sheet slitter that ever slit a sheet.
1.
Buck is a fig plucker. Buck plucks pigs. Buck's the best fig plucker that ever plucked a fig. Sam is a sheet slitter. Sam slits sheets. Sam's the best sheet slitter that ever slit a sheet.
2.
Buck is a fig plucker. Buck plucks figs. Buck's the best pig. All right. Cunning Connie Kent soaks her skunky, chunky cut continuously in Connie Kent's cut.
3 times fast.
Cunning Connie Kent soaks her skunky, chunky cut continuously in Connie Kent's cut.
1.
Cunning Connie Kent soaks her skunky, chunky cut continuously in Connie Kent's cut.
2.
Cunning Connie Kent soaks her skunky, chunky cut continuously in Connie Kent's fluffy, frustrated fig plucker plucked figs while smoking quality kumquat keef with quicker, quarreling Kiefer Sutherland.
3 steps fast.
The fluffy, frustrated fig plucker plucked figs while smoking kumquat with...
3 steps fast.
The fluffy, frustrated fig pucker pigs...
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, they do that. Pigs do that. You're not lying.
Hey, how do you think they make baby
I
pigs?
don't know. Looks like I'll have to hold on to that one, Steve.
Attention, teach sex ed.
Third and final attempt.
Pigs F.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up in minutes, we'll toast and drink in the weekend with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, 30% of people rarely leave a voicemail when calling somebody that they know.
Agreed. Unless it's your kid, so they can make fun of you.
I definitely don't do it with the kids because they will make fun of me. But, if it's someone you know, they know you called.
Exactly.
They'll call you back. Right.
Well, and if you know them, chances are better than even you probably texted them first, or if you're calling them, there is a reason to call, so they will call back.
My thought is, if someone called me and I saw they left a voicemail to someone I know, I assume it's very important.
Yeah, it's urgent.
At least to them.
Right. I think which is why the next generations get a little bit more frustrated when people leave voicemails, because that very reason. If you leave a voicemail, I assume your leg is amputated and you need to be taken to the hospital.
But then even with cell phones now, and if it's important, you would also have the text.
Right.
Call me back, but you need to know about blank.
Sure.
Right.
Also, if it's not urgent, say something other than give me a call when you can.
God, I hate that. It's we need to talk.
Right.
And it can be any one of 10,000 things.
Exactly.
I'm pregnant. Your parents have died. Or what you need at the grocery store. And that's the problem. You don't know. There should be like an emoji for the level of importance connected to your text, right? So
yes.
We need to talk. Give me like the one, just give me a number one that says, okay, this is low scale.
I have a question.
I can take some time to get back to you. If it's like a 5,
right.
I need to call you now.
Right, because I'm probably finishing something that's actually important to hear, like, where did you leave the keys?
Right.
I don't care, man. 1 in 5 Gen Zers plan to find themselves with a soul-searching trip.
Good. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Good. Do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever you need, man.
Anyone that does.
Whatever that is.
Right. If you feel you need to do it and you can do it, do it.
Whatever your passion is, go do it.
Exactly. Well, and there does need to
be that moment. It means they're looking for black people, Mike. Soul searching.
Where are they at?
Excuse me, do you know where...
Can you teach me to dance? Sadly, if you ask me that, no.
You teach me
I want to
Man, you got down on my wedding. You did just fine.
I did not dance well. I just danced a lot.
You danced better than anybody else there.
Could you teach me coordination?
God. Well,
I'll give you some yogurt.
I'm tired of assist in basketball. I would like to just take it to the hoop.
There is that age bracket where you are, you're growing out of a kid and into adult. Now, as a kid, you're always trying to be the adult, but at some point, it's time to legitimately become an adult. Like, what in the hell am I going to do with my life? Okay,
How do I stay happy?
Right.
Predominantly for the rest of my life.
We all have some soul searching that needs to happen.
I can make a free throw. Can I make a 3?
Oh, God. Research says...
You can make a 3. Can you dunk?
Research says it's important for teenagers to have a set bedtime. But good luck getting them to...
No, that is the one age, man, where you stay up as late as you can and you push the envelope.
Well, the research says that it's good for their mental health and it's good for their overall...
Oh, sure.
Development.
Here's my thing. The kids have a set bedtime. It does not guarantee they go to sleep.
That is a fact.
It's more of from the parents' point of view of time to leave me alone.
I would be on the telephone at 12:30. Oh, yeah? And my mom would pick up the phone and go, Miles, go to bed. Like, because she was, same phone line, landline phone. Yeah. She was in the room.
Could just
I can hear you talking in there.
I know you got busted all the time. Right?
I don't care who you're talking to. Just go to bed.
Right. You're done. A new poll found the card games that people enjoy the most. And you know what? Card games.
Is it like Uno or are we talking about?
Uno's a great game.
Like grab a deck of cards.
Oh my God, man.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Go Fish is not a bad game.
I
played that with my kids when they were younger. I still think that's great.
War takes forever.
War takes. God damn. My son loved War years ago, man. I'm just like, I do not remember the game taking.
It takes forever.
Solitaire is great.
Wife loves Rummy.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. That's not a bad game.
This one is, they call it Speed or Spit. I don't know what that game is, but it's apparently the most popular card game out there. You guys, any ideas? What is the worst card game? The dead last, least favorite. Grab a deck of 52.
Bridge, something that's so difficult to play that you really need an advanced education on it.
Old Maid.
Oh, that was actually my first thought. But then I'm like, no, that wouldn't be last.
It wasn't bad.
I never liked it, but I'm a horrible person who doesn't like a lot of things. So sometimes I discount myself from a discussion.
Also like Crazy Eights. That's a fun one.
That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God, man. It's not a card game, but left,
How
right,
about
center.
Cards Against Humanity?
Right?
Cards
Never
Against
played
Humanity's
left,
great.
right, center?
No.
It's 3 dice, whatever. We played this at my parents' house where they're in April, down in New Mexico. It's 100% luck. There's no skill.
Nice.
There's nothing. And somehow, when a game does not involve skill but only involves luck, the people that win talk more S than anyone else. My mother was about to disown my son as her grandson by the end of that game. It's like, maybe don't shake your ass in her face when you win, bud.
Panda Express is testing a new orange chicken sandwich.
What kind of bread? What kind of bread? I think that's going to be the big difference.
My guess is it would be a bun, just like...
I think it's too much.
I
think orange chicken's already a lot with rice. I mean, it's a pretty hearty meal that you got to cut those pieces into.
When this came up, Ted Smith had a very good point. It sounds great. It does, but if I'm going to Panda Express, I don't picture chicken sandwich.
I don't picture chicken sandwich. But if it's good, I guess it just depends how you want to consume it, right?
Is it like a Popeyes style fried chicken
believe
sandwich?
it is.
So it's one big patty.
That's my guess.
Just covered in the orange or
sauce.
sweet or the
That's what I'm
So's.
picturing.
I believe you're getting...
don't know that to be
All right,
true, but
you
if
know
that's
what?
the case, you're down, right?
I'll give it a try.
I'd give it a go.
Absolutely.
Because it sounds good, yes. A chicken filet that's just got the orange chicken dress on it.
I'm guessing that's
Let's
what's
go.
I'm still at that point where don't wet my breaded chicken. You can wet my deep fried chicken wings that aren't breaded, right? But anything wet on bread, back to the Nashville chicken
solid,
thing
yeah.
yesterday when the sous chef was in, Mike, and the chicken, like the Nashville chicken, it just soggies up the breading.
All right, then it becomes this mush in your mouth.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it doesn't taste good, but the consistency of it changes.
But orange chicken seems to hold its crispiness better.
Sure.
With the sauce.
So fair to say that that's a popular thing that you would refuse to get into, Miles,
Also,
right?
it's a different breading on orange chicken than it is like a regular traditional chicken.
Correct.
And just like that, there's a lot of other popular things that people refuse to get into. You know what? Let's get into it.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 popular things people refuse to get into. Here's one I will refuse to do. Barkitecture. You know, designing portions of your home specifically for your beloved pet.
Oh, hell no.
A dog gets a dog bed and some chew toys. A cat gets a litter box.
And your furniture.
Stop humanizing your pets and please, for the love of God, get a life, you loser.
Yeah. So years ago, I actually, just to JD's point there, worked at this architect place. He's taking us around to different residential units he's building. There's this place called Hunt Valley outside of Baltimore where the rich folks in Baltimore choose to live. Now, the house was not complete yet, but we went to this home. And I want to say it was 6 stories tall, but one of the levels was dedicated completely to the family's dog. And what bothered me more about that is, okay, the dog had a bed that elevated from the floor.
Okay. Oh, what?
Right. So it's a flush floor. It's a floor.
Sure.
And when you pressed a button, the dog's bed, it hadn't been completed yet, but at that point, the electronics were there, the hydraulics, whatever. And I'm like, keep in mind, I'm
You're
dead broke at this
fancifying.
time. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, are you goddamn kidding me? And he said, look, it's the dumbest thing I've ever done, but if they got the money to put it in, and that's what they want, that's what they get.
10 popular things people refuse to get into. Neutral baby toys, they say. Babies see better when toys have bright, contrasting colors, says a new mom who dislikes the neutral pastels shade toys.
Oh, my
Make them
God.
bright and colorful. Kids don't care.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Just give them the goddamn
That's the
toy.
reason people want to identity is so that they can figure out how to decorate the room before the kid gets there, you know?
Just make it colorful. It doesn't have to be guided any one direction. Just make it colorful.
And don't think for 1 minute that your kid who's an infant is going to worry about if his room is pink or light blue or yellow.
That's all about the parent and nothing to do
I'm
with
about to
it.
say, I don't think the kid's concerned.
That's not you.
Funko Pops. Collecting Funko Pops is a hobby for most people, but some Reddit users find the activity hideous. Quote, for the most part, they're all identical, just different paint. Well, yeah, that's kind of the fun.
What about you?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, don't collect them.
Right. Do you guys have any Funko Pops? I know that I have
No,
a
but
handful.
Megs has got a ton of them.
Megs
He's
has
got a
bunch.
whole collection, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. I like it.
My kid, there's a Funko place in Mexico City, and my kid's like, Dad, you to come in here. I really want to get this Funko. And in my mind, I'm like, we're on vacation, no problem. Well, the problem was it's one of their specialty ones that's like 6 feet tall, and it was of Thanos.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing's like $3,000. I'm like, geez, no.
No,
man,
kid.
No, we're not getting that.
I got a couple. I've got a couple of the Mariners ones for sure. One of the fun ones that I've got, my wife gave it to me. It's Gandalf the Grey, still in the box.
You're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys. I might take it out.
I'm not playing with it.
No.
I'm going to save it for its value.
Take it out of the box.
I should.
Do you plan on selling it later?
If I knew, Mike, if I knew how much my Star Wars toys would be worth right now in that box when I bought them in 1978, I would have never played with any of those.
Oh, I know. If you knew then.
The whole thing is that
But
I'm
I
not
know
going to play
now.
with them, but I'm going to adorn my desk or somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
I should just crack that bad boy open. Let's see, pranks. Playing pranks on people for the thrill of sharing viral videos is annoying. Quote, there's been at least one instance of a prankster getting shot. I hope they stop, reads a post.
Pranks are fun. I mean, I don't really pre-think it, but
prank the right people.
If there's a moment, it's stupid things. Like years ago, I found, what was that? What's the place by you, Miles? Goofy stuff.
Archie McPhee's.
Archie McPhee's. I went in there and they had this kind of powder. And when you mix this powder with any liquid, it turns it basically into like a hard gelatin.
Oh, okay.
Right? Non-toxic, whatever. And I remember there's a day, Ryan Castle, super hungover, and he had a cup of coffee in his office.
Yeah.
He stepped out of his office. I put this gelatin in there, and I remember looking through the studio and seeing him tip up his cup, and nothing came out. And he's just staring. But it still looks like a normal cup of coffee.
Sure.
Little things like that make me super happy, man. That's all.
10 popular things that people refuse to get into. Celebrity worship, which I can't disagree with. So there's the huge difference between celebrity admiration and worship. One commenter writes, quote, it's really weird when grown adults who completely idolize celebs and go through so much time and emotion to defend them. These people don't know that you exist. Don't pay your bills, and someone rudely brush you off.
The word worship, to me, means a higher power, an entity, as something, right?
Sure.
That you're bowing down to.
But they're saying that's what they're applying to.
They're the highlight of their life.
That's a different level of fandom.
It is.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, that's weird. You're an adult.
Well, I will give you an example. Like Taylor Swift is one of those that a lot of her fan base just completely idolizes and worships her to the point to where CenturyLink or Lumen, which I believe is where she's going to be performing at, the parking lot will be descended upon by Swifties that are going to be. Now, I'm sure she puts on a phenomenal show, and I would love to be there. But
do you know what time it starts?
No, I don't.
Well, the pre-party starts at 4:15, and then if you have the pass, I don't know what you're talking about.
You going to be there?
VIP tickets.
You're going to go check it out?
On their website, taylorswift.com.
Smartwatches. Quote, the last thing I wanted to get emails, calls, and texts on my watch, mentioned one user, which, to be honest with you, the guy sitting across from me, I wouldn't doubt if that was you guys as well. Other than you, Miles, you do have a smartwatch.
I do. I love it. Absolutely. You can determine what you get on your watch, like your phone.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I don't like being bothered at all. So even having a cell phone is at the behest of my family.
You've
So
also got a prehistoric cell phone as well.
I turn off all notifications from messages, from calls on my watch.
Sure.
I use my watch as a watch.
I don't have that luxury.
You know what it is, man? Just count my steps. I don't know why. It's the geekiest thing in the world.
Hey.
Whatever.
We all got our thing, man. 10 popular things people refuse to get into. Sports betting. It says staying off sports betting is a smart choice because it's addictive and slowly sinks you into debt. And it's also doggone fun.
It's fun. I just don't gamble much because I got to earn my money, man.
Exactly.
So that's just me. Again, curmudgeon-y.
And to be honest with you, I only do it when I'm down in Vegas. When we were down there, I was like,
Vegas,
okay, let me put a bet on who's going to win the Super Bowl.
It's one thing to pull a random,
Yeah.
But it's another thing to think you know enough,
correct,
to bet on that. And one thing I know is I feel like I know a lot about a lot of things.
Bet against the Colts.
Turns out I don't. So like when you bet against like your team football wise or something, this should be the right matchup. This should be this, and then they always disappoint you.
There's an upset.
But there's a difference if you put a bet on it.
Right.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, dude. Twitter, quote, "It's just toxic," writes one user. Which I don't disagree.
No, it is.
It's one of the most toxic places that you can possibly be on.
But if you want to be there, I don't care if you want to be there. I closed up my Twitter account. I'm just like, for that reason. Like, I just don't need it. But if that's where you want to be there.
And I honestly...
I smoke cigarettes, also toxic. So it's not, you know what I mean? I'm like, look, you do what you do. I just don't want to be a part of
battles.
In the last few years, I had to clean up all of my social media just because I got rid of the negativity. I got rid of all the crap that was posting. Like, look, you posting your political post is not going to change anybody's mind. It's going to make you look like a jackass.
Right,
like,
you're venting.
I know that you're pounding your chest and thinking that you're saying what everybody needs to hear. Nobody cares, and that doesn't know a side.
Right.
You just look like a jackass. This is supposed to be a place like, hey, look at my dog. I'm on vacation over here. I built this thing. And now my social media has turned into a very fun place.
Because you can't put anything on there that does not become stupid, right?
Correct.
No matter what you say. But I will say, when you're a kid, you're like, man, I wish I had ESP. And I feel like social media kind of gives you that ability to a degree. Bro, you don't want ESP.
You don't want to hear the quiet things out loud. Lip injections comes in there.
What?
So they're like the worst short-term game for the long-term downside.
Oh, you're talking about your face.
I mean, I do it. I know that you guys don't know, but I do it.
I've done it before like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. You look fantastic.
I don't know. I thought you talked about.
I'm black. I don't think we need lip injections.
I'm doing the injection. I'm doing the injection.
I can say that.
I'm doing the injection on the lips.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Gotcha. Let's see. Pickleball comes in at number 2. It says it's so easy, so low barrier of entry, and it's fun. Right?
That's why old people play it.
Don't you like badminton?
Right.
I mean, everyone likes a sport.
That's why a lot of a buddy of mine actually put a pickleball court in front of his house. I have not played pickleball yet. I saw him over the weekend. He's like, dude, just come over and play. And the thing that appealed to me, it's low impact, it's easy. So is ping pong.
That's
so is
why.
everything.
It's a way
I
to
like.
stay physical.
Right.
If I had a house, I'd do a putting green because you know me, I'm a
Exactly.
geek in golf.
Miles, you golf every weekend. Okay, it's
So
so
putting
easy.
green, I'll be out drinking a beer in my backyard every night.
Yes! It's just a way to
Instead,
get you
I'm-
horizontal and you start moving.
Instead of I got a mat in my living room, I look like a
Vertical.
Not bad. I try to
I
get
my
my
place pickleball real easy.
Yeah,
we
I do.
both lay down and we just hit it over the net, brother.
Oh, yeah. Here, baby. I can do 2 things at once.
I think horizontal pickleball is an entirely different thing than the sport.
Come on, baby. We can both hit balls. Let's go.
Yeah, Mike's version of pickleball a little more appealing.
A little different, man. It's great. We have a good old time. Sun's out. Let's go. But this is the number 1 popular thing that people refuse to get into. And to be honest with you, I did until I didn't. TikTok. With over 800 million monthly users, TikTok is a global sensation, but some Reddit users are not so thrilled. One commentator wonders, quote, why would I need TikTok when everything is reposted on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Reddit? There's nothing necessarily worse or better about TikTok compared to any other social media platform. I refused to get it because it was just like any other quick hit, funny website. But then it was during the pandemic. I was like, you know what? I've seen enough funny videos that are on this app. It's like, all right, screw it.
I
I'm gonna
don't
do it.
think there's anything wrong with TikTok, but I look at TikTok the way Ted looks at cocaine.
Sure.
You just end up getting sucked into it.
Yes,
right?
you would.
And it's like, I don't want to give up my time for it,
Right.
but there's nothing inherently wrong with it.
And the thing is I find an entertainment value with TikTok, so I made one myself, and I started looking at things. I started what people were doing. I was like, I got a couple ideas, and I put them out there, and I got myself all the way up to like 150 followers and all that. Then I made a men's room TikTok, and that son of a bitch is already up to 2,000. Like, dog.
What is the men's room TikTok handle?
At Men's Room Live, like everything else.
At Men's Room Live.
At Men's Room Live on TikTok.
I'm so out of this world. I'm like, okay.
You can catch a lot of the fun videos.
We never tell people that.
No, we don't.
Why do we not tell? We have a TikTok page.
I figured I would use this opportunity
just now
to let people know
the men's room has a TikTok.
At Men's Room Live.
I will be goddamn.
The men's room has a TikTok.
Yeah, at Men's Room Live.
Is it entertaining?
I like to think so. We had one video that went viral.
It went viral.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the technical term of viral is, but it did a hell of a lot better.
We're famous?
No, it spreads disease.
It did as good as like all of our other videos combined.
We're reaching the youngsters.
Combined. Wow. A man in Florida has been hunted by police after he stole some property, and what he stole might make you chuckle.
What did
Miles,
he steal?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50 in the meantime.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
They called him the most powerful man in Hollywood, and he really was for decades.
He extended his tentacles like an octopus throughout the entire entertainment industry.
Mr. Lou Wasserman.
This is Glitter and Might, an Odyssey Originals documentary podcast series written and narrated by me, Sean Levy. All episodes are available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the Drink Desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the Shetland Islands Council of Scotland. That is what your people, Mike, right? Correct, Scotland? Okay, now, Mike, I'm going to say this right now. Do not dump this. I already went to the proper authorities earlier to make sure that this is okay. And they said, yes, it is. Just don't pander. And I will not. Now, you may have heard about the big-ass algae bloom outside of Florida. All right, so the thing about that algae bloom outside of Florida, man, it can just cause all kinds of problems for you.
You realize that thing is 5,000 miles. 5,000
miles, right.
It is the size. It stretches from Africa to the United States of America.
That is correct. In Baltimore, we call that Reisterstown Road. If you live there, you understand the joke.
Jesus.
Anyway, the Shetland Islands Council Environment... You never heard of that?
No.
The shortest... Never mind.
No.
The Shetland Islands Council... Environmental Health Team, they found a blue-green algae bloom off of the Loch of North House. Okay? And there's a town there, and they want to let the villagers know that this is a dangerous thing. So signs were put up around the loch just yesterday, warning that contact with this particular algae, it needs to be avoided. Animals should not drink or even swim in the water. Adjoining landowners, they've been warned about the situation, and they have basically the Shetland Islands Council and the Shetland Angling Association saying, hey, don't go there. So you're probably wondering, where is this? Well, again, it's off the Loch of North House, right beside the town of Twat. So, as the headline reads, the Scottish Council has issued a warning after toxic scum was found near the town of Twat. They also add, and this is what's amazing to me, it's not to be confused with the village of Twat on Orkney.
I was thinking that's where that was, in Orkney. Yeah,
that is correct.
That's the Twat I know.
Apparently, there are 2 different towns of Twat located there. Anyway, I'm just glad they put it out there, and I didn't read the actual headline they put up there. And the headline itself was not meant to be funny, but I would just say that's why I clicked on it.
I didn't get
you
near there
did
when
see
I would.
That story?
I just found it, but I did not get anywhere near there. It looks like it's kind of in an island area off of Scotland.
I was going to ask you if you ever visited that location, Mike.
I'm sure if I knew about it, I would have tried to get out there.
I was asking about your personal life.
I know.
All right, so let's drink. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bitona.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Come on.
What?
No, good news, Mike. It says, someone says, I just recently found you guys on the TikTok.
All right.
Love the content so far. Someone else, I love y'all's TikTok. I get to laugh at your dumb asses the second time. So there you go. Some people do know.
At Men's Room Live, right?
That's right, correct.
Also on the Odyssey app is the Men's Room page, and we have a Men's Room radio station exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Damn
So
right.
early on, they said, hey, man, could you guys pick 25 songs each? We'll put them all up, see how this thing goes. Believe it or not, you guys are listening.
I know.
And we really appreciate that. So if you have a chance over the weekend, check out the new channel. So then they didn't come back to us. we went to them.
Yeah.
And we said we want to put in 25 more songs.
Yeah.
Right? So what we did was we picked 25 more songs. So now we have 200 songs on the Men's Room radio station, on the Odyssey app, on the Men's Room page. We took 2 of those tunes, one being Christopher Cross and Ride Like the Wind, the other the Doobie Brothers, and Taking It to the Streets. Mike, how was the voting?
It was really close, Miles. One thing that we do know about our listeners is that while they do have a passion for rock, they have a passion for yacht rock as well. So by a 49-51 split, the winner of the Men's Room Radio Bad Choice Friday Challenge is Steve the Thrill Hill with Doobie Brothers. And we are taking it to the street.
That's right. I'll be damned.
I got
this. This is a good jam.
It is a good jam. They're both good jams.
Yeah, welcome to the weekend, Mitchellas. You're listening to Men's Room. Miles and Thrill, 99.9 KISW, Seattle.
What do Hollywood A-listers, bourbon distillers, and survival experts all have in common? Living life aggressively. Join me, Brian Tome, an adventurer, hunter, and a pastor you'd grab a beer with, in conversation with intriguing guests, squeezing the most out of life. Join millions of listeners growing spiritual muscles. It's as far away from your grandma's stained glass windows as you can get. Search for The Aggressive Life with Brian Tome wherever you listen to podcasts.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Now for all TV news, all time for TV time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Wow, you trimmed up that scraggly beard.
I did.
Did you?
Like a few days ago.
Oh, you're not Ted.
No,
Sorry,
I'm not Ted.
My bad.
No, and I sit down when I talk. Like, I know that it's against... I know it's against radio-like practices to sit down while I talk, but...
I've worked with 2 guys to stand up when they're on the air. One is Ted. The other guy's name, Ken Rosenthal.
I know that name.
Baseball guy.
He's now, I believe, Fox's main baseball guy. World Series,
Does
whatever.
he stand throughout the entire game?
I don't know if he does it on TV, but when he did, we used to run his radio show back in the day, and he did it live out of Baltimore. And this guy, I could not believe it. He stood up, and he would sit down at the breaks. He would sit down to his research. As soon as that mic went on, man, he stood up, and I always asked him, I'm like, what is it? He goes, man, I just feel more energy.
Well, you know what? And I can understand that, and you get a lot more lung pressure from it. You can project a little bit more from there. But I got a powerful ass voice, so I can sit down.
I said Miles down too.
So you guys, it is no secret who is my favorite actor. Not Ryan Reynolds, but who is my favorite actor?
Bryan Cranston.
Bingo, Bryan Cranston. He's made the headlines, and unfortunately, it's bad news for me, but great news for Bryan Cranston. He does say it says enjoy Bryan Cranston while you can, because in 3 years he's doggone out of here.
How old is he?
He is...
I'm sure he's in his 60s,
Miles,
right?
you can't...
Well, no, what I'm saying is...
I do a lot of show prep
What
for
I mean
this,
is this.
Miles.
Like, look, you worked your entire life to get to where you are. Whether you busted your ass waiting tables, doing small parts, doing theater, whatever it is,
Sure.
right? So you get to a point where, like, look, I will retire. I will do select projects. I'm just not working full time.
Correct.
That's all.
He is 67 years old.
Okay, well, don't...
And he looks good for 67.
It's 67. Like, look, I will pick and choose. I will not work full time.
I don't think he's even doing that.
That is exactly right. By 2026, Bryan Cranston wants to retire from acting, shut down his production company, sell his half of the Dos Hombres Mezcal company, and leave the country with his wife, Robin. He's thinking about France. So he wants to unhook everything and bail the hell out of here.
I love it.
Good for him, man.
He says, quote, for the last 24 years, Robin has led her life holding on to my tail. She's been the plus one. She's been the wife of a celebrity. She's had to pivot and adjust her life based on mine. Pardon me. She has tremendous benefit from it. He does understand that. She understands that, but we are uneven. Says, I want to level that out. She deserves it. Says, he adds, quote, I want to go for day trips and have the fire in the fireplace and drink wine with new friends and not read scripts. I'm not going to be taking phone calls, he says.
You've earned it, man. You've earned the right.
You know, he had a great career with Malcolm in the Middle, and I feel like he might have done a couple little bit parts here and there. He had some voice work that he did. He found Breaking Bad and Vince Gilligan and that entire crew there, and he showed his true acting chops and his ability to really dive into a character and edit the script. You know, I did read his book. We talked about it earlier today, Mr. Hill, that I read his book, and
what is his origins? Where did he grow up? Did he put that in there, or did he just kind of go straight from acting on?
You know what? He might have put it in there. It has been so long since I read the book that Miles, I actually don't know what his origins were, but he did get into acting. I think it was theater acting at first. Then he might have gotten into some production. You know, everybody finds their different way into.
Sure, you only start on the stage unless you're lucky enough to be a child actor, and if you are, then you're unlucky enough to be a child actor.
I was going to say that goes both ways.
And Breaking Bad is one of those shows that I believe AMC still owns it. That I haven't checked in a minute, but I got to assume that they're still running reruns. It is still one of the greatest shows that you can have out there. You know that HBO is still running The Wire. AMC is still running The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. They just have marathons from time to time. It's no different than the Star Wars franchise. It's just correct. It continues to hold up. It continues to do well. And no matter what episode you jump in on, for whatever reason, you just get hooked by it. And so he's got this successful pipeline just continuing with his money. The mezcal company that I have, Dos Hombres, Robin, bless her heart, bought me a bottle for Christmas one year, and I still have it. And so he's got his hands in all these different pots, which I'm surprised that he wants to sell his stake in all these different things.
I'm not. I get it, because once you sell it, based on his age, man, you'll have plenty of money for the rest of your life. At some point, like, I'm fine for what you can project the average human to live for, right?
Sure.
I want to go where I want to go, whether it's France or whatever the hell he said, but, like, enjoy your life, right? I've done my part, and the difference is, you know, everybody works. Everybody does their part in the overall machine, as it were. And when you're an actor versus, hell, I don't know, you're doing construction, you work in restaurants, all these things are all parts of the machine to make this whole thing work. But what people remember from you is so much more substantial than other people that have done hard work as well.
Yes.
I think it's good to walk away, right?
Okay.
I mean, I really do. Like, all of us contribute to something that makes the machine work, but a lot of you, and face it, man, and you know this to be true, you're underrated. You're not appreciated. Someone throws a milkshake in your face, you work at Burger King, but you need people to work at Burger King to make Burger King be Burger King.
Yes.
Right?
Also, when something's done.
Yeah, I mean, this guy really, you've put a massive imprint on the art world. It's okay to walk away.
If you know Ted Lasso's done, even though you'll do other things and you're younger,
sure,
the show's still done.
Exactly.
If you walk away from it and do something else.
That's it. Yeah, I'm happy for him, man. It's a good thing.
I agree, man. Switching gears over here. This is a major left turn. My apologies for the whiplash here, but says this one might come as a bit of a surprise, but Kim Kardashian is a lights-off kind of girl. We're talking about the bedroom here. Celebrities in the bedroom. She's a lights-off kind of girl.
Lights off?
Well, it's because she was married to Kanye West.
I don't want to see what you have.
I'm just going to tell you.
I know what I have.
I'm having sex with a marshmallow who's just, an anti-Semite. So this is a little bit weird.
An anti-Semitic dwarf.
Marshmallow.
On yesterday's episode of the Kardashians, she said, "quote It's so weird, but then I can like walk out of a photo shoot with 100 people working on set. I can walk out in like a thong." She says, "But if you're there with me, I'm like, wait, don't look at me. Turn the lights off." Which,
well, there's no intimacy in a photo shoot, and she's done a million.
You're doing your
There's
job.
a difference between having a one-on-one, time with somebody. So then,
I agree with that.
Not too far off.
Sure. So that got me thinking, like, we've heard this. It's trickled in over time. So there's got to be a joint list here of the different celebrity kinks that we've gotten over the years. Kinks.
I dig it.
So I want to have a little game with you guys.
Tell me Mila Kunis's kink is black dude's named Thrill covered in tattoos.
She does have a kink, but wait for it.
Oh, is it on the list?
We will get.
damn
you know what?
it.
I might have taken her off just because
What?
it was.
Come on, man.
I don't think it was specific. I think it just said like, "Oh, she's kinky." Like, okay, what? She like to be spanked or whatever? Like, what's going on?
need
Yeah,
to know
we know
more.
people who have foot fetishes and
exactly
stuff like that.
So I'm going to ask you guys, like, would you get after a celebrity? But this was something that you had to get done.
Okay, all right, okay. I got you.
So let's go with Amber Rose.
Amber Rose.
That's Ice Cube or Ice T's
There you
wife,
go.
right?
So Rose has a
No,
thing.
that's Coco. Amber Rose used to date Kanye, big ass, no hair in her head.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
So Amber Rose has a thing for dominating rich men. She says, "quote I like to take really rich, powerful man and make him squirm." She explained on the Amber Rose show.
Well, cool.
I would let her
Yeah.
down.
I would absolutely.
I don't have the money.
Because you're on a yacht.
For you
Right.
to do what it is you want. I can pretend that I'm rich.
I can have sex on a private jet
The
or a yacht
qualifications.
or the top floor of the Four Seasons.
Wait a minute, I got another one over here. Okay. Khloe Kardashian. During one episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she visited an adult store, the stock room. She searched for a cat suit there, looking to make things more exciting in the bedroom. You guys okay with a cat suit Khloe Kardashian?
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, man. Your costume means nothing.
I don't care if you walk in and dress like a man.
Angelina Jolie. Speaking with ABC News, Jolie spoke about her past risky kinks. Quote, early on in my first sexual relationship, I got knives out and had a night where we attacked each other. They actually did cut each other during the situation. So you're going to have sex with Angelina Jolie, but you got to take a few cuts.
Didn't she admit doing that with her brother? I mean, not in that situation.
They
but
traded a vial of blood or
cutting
something.
each other, yeah.
I do remember something about that.
I
do, but
her and Billy Bob do that.
Billy Bob do that.
They did.
God. Okay, but still, you're gonna get it down with Angelina Jolie, but you got to take a knife to the arm.
Okay, 20 years ago, yes. Now, no.
Okay, but you got to remember one thing. If you looked at her, Cruella, whatever, and she has a knife above you, and she's straddling.
Oh, Emma Stone?
Oh, that was the wrong person. Yeah, but she kind of has that look of just the gauntness, right?
Yeah.
You can look at her and go, this is a girl who could probably kill me.
Sure.
She looks like a chick who's into knife stuff.
Yeah.
As long as we have an understanding that, one, I'm not going to die, and two, this is just to get your rocks off, I'm in. Let's go. Let's get it done.
I'm here for your rocks.
This one doesn't quite count, but let's just put it into proper perspective. But Nick Lachey, apparently in the past, he has been open about wearing the shoes of then-wife Jessica Simpson. Quote, it was sort of a kinky thing that we like to get into. So you're going to have sex with the woman of your dreams, the star, choose who she is, who they are. You got to wear their shoes during it.
Look, I'm not into that per se, but if I'm about to have sex with Jessica Simpson and she says, wear my shoes to seal the deal, I'm wearing her shoes. Right? You follow me? Like, that's not something I would think to do, but if Jessica Simpson said, hey, if you want some of this, do that, like, cool.
Heidi Klum. It's going to make complete and total sense. The German model told Marie Claire that while in the bedroom, it's, quote, good to make an effort to dress up sometimes. What do you know? The model likes to dress up in bed.
Okay.
Get after it, man.
I do not find her particularly attractive.
I do.
I'm not saying that I kick her out of bed, Mike. I'm just saying she would not be my top on the list, but yeah, okay.
Fair point, good sir. Carmen Electra. The glamour model has spoken about getting rough in the bedroom. In her own words, quote, a little pleasure, a little pain. It's all about fun.
Sure.
Well, she's the smallest person in there, no matter who she's having sex with.
I told you my one meeting with her, right? At the airport, Costa Rica. No. And so we're in Costa Rica. There's the opening of basically a sport book casino. This is years and years and years ago. At this time, I'm working at a sports station. This particular casino invited sports journalists, quote unquote, from around the country to come down and open it up. Lots of celebrities there, blah, blah, blah. Carmen Electra was there performing with the Pussycat Dolls.
All right.
So the day that we are leaving, there is a massive, massive line at the San Juan, Costa Rica airport. Me and this dude I'm buddies with from Cleveland realize there's no one in the first class line. Let's just go there, and then we'll play stupid. Sure enough, we go up. Woman looks at her tickets, says, oh, I'm sorry, you gentlemen are first class. This is the first class line. We're like, oh, my God, I feel so stupid. And she does exactly what we hoped she would do. Don't worry about it. I can still take care of you, blah, blah, blah.
Sweet.
So we get taken care of. And there's this little woman standing off to the side with like 6 or 7 other people. And she looks at me and just goes, smooth. And I go, hey, man, whatever works. If these dopes want to stand in that line, they can stand in the line. And she goes, why were you here? So went to this opening of a casino. Blah, blah, blah. Pussycat Dolls were playing. She goes, did you check out the Pussycat Dolls? I said, I didn't. I said, I know Carmen Electra was part of it, but it's just not my speed, you know? And besides, what am I going to do? F Carmen Electra? I did not say F. I said the full word.
Sure.
And this little girl pulls on her glasses. It is Carmen Electra.
Oh, my
So now it's awkward. Oh, yeah, it's true. This is a very awkward thing. So I just looked at her. I don't know what to do. So I go, was I right? Her answer, by the way, yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that went down the...
No, I'm sure she was charmed by your stupidity.
She did not look charmed when I said it, but there it was.
Everyone's hungover. It's the morning. You're getting on a flight.
I tried.
Pick your...
One more, Miles. I know that you're a big Riri fan, but aside from having a song called S&M, the Barbadian singer has been open about her kinky nature. Quote, being submissive in the bedroom is really fun. She needs to be submissive. That's how you get it out.
Good for you.
My God.
You tell me what you want.
If Rihanna said, I want to shoot you in the face, Miles would sleep
I'll
with
eat
her.
biscuits and gravy off your ass. Whatever you're into. I don't care. With a knife and a fork. Just do it.
What are you going to watch this weekend? Friday night, tonight at 8:30 Eastern. So it's, been on for like 15 minutes. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets lead 2-1 over the Miami Heat. That's going on tonight. Tomorrow, The Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I believe it is 2-1 Vegas over Florida right now.
Correct.
And then on Sunday, at 8 o'clock on CBS, the 76th annual Tony Award is going to be on Sunday night.
The Tony.
Everyone named Tony, who's awesome.
I have my predictions.
I know you're big on the Tony.
I have my predictions.
Name your nominee.
I'm really, down with that. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
For 25 years, Stamps.com has made mailing and shipping easy. All you need is a computer and printer. Imagine mailing and shipping right from your desk, anytime. No traffic, no waiting, no hassle. Plus, Stamps.com gives you discounts up to 84%. Sign up for Stamps.com today. Use code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, plus postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A deer crashes through a New Jersey home and takes a dip in the family pool. Meanwhile, a Florida man steals a Captain Morgan statue, which is both kind of funny and cruel. Nordstrom in Canada selling single shoes during a clearance sale. Man shares an x-ray pic of his hip surgery, and wow, holy hell. And a woman who was laid off makes sure that her coworkers will never forget her. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Our top story, we go to Florida, where local police in Charlotte County are asking for the public's help. They checked security footage of the area after reports came in of a burglary and released images of the man and the truck that was used. They were asking anyone with information about the incident to come forward so that they could track down the man that stole a Captain Morgan statue from a local restaurant.
How big is this statue?
Pretty big, life size.
Oh, really?
It is.
Yeah.
It fit in the back of this truck bed. I'm not going to lie. I do not condone this behavior.
But
having a Captain Morgan statue would be pretty fun.
I'm right there with you.
I don't care what man cave it is. If I look over and I see Captain Morgan sitting over there, like, dude, good on you.
Exactly. Like, I know you shouldn't steal. But if you're going to steal a Captain Morgan statue.
Just steal something cool. Don't necessarily steal something expensive. Steal something cool.
I agree, man.
Stupid.
Did you steal that? Yeah. I'm telling no.
Right. I would never in my life spend money on a Captain Morgan statue. However, I would really love a Captain Morgan statue in my basement. In other news, to the lovely world of the internet, where one woman played an epic prank on her former co-workers. I love this story. I actually saw this video. She uploaded a video to TikTok detailing that she had been laid off from her position at work and was the only one in the office to lose her job.
Damn.
But not leaving quietly, the woman plays dozens of small photos featuring her face and a speech bubble that she wrote different phrases and buzzwords inside of all around the office building. This is a you prank all over, Mr. Hill. She continues in the video that people on the inside sent her a photo of a whiteboard adorned with several of the photos, along with a prompt of, quote, how many pictures of Madison are hidden around the office, indicating that they are all being collected in one area. She wrote stuff like Bazinga.
Right.
Like, doggone, where's Waldo, that kind of crap on there, right? Anyway,
she hit him in like the first aid kits, like places where you normally wouldn't go.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They opened up like a cabinet in the office.
All of a sudden, you just open up something that's like, oh, there's
a vegetable drawer
face
in the refrigerator.
We did that years ago for the CEO of the company. All right.
What?
So it was a bad financial time just around the world.
Oh,
this
Dave?
Pre-pandemic, and not AE Dave, but he sent this email out to everybody and mentioned that he had been on safari in Africa, but when he was on safari, it just made him think about the business. Okay, so there was a reason for it, but the point was everyone else is like going broke. So Miles and I again went to Arch and McBee's, and we bought a bunch of like plastic jungle trees and jungle animals.
Giraffes.
So we knew, but he was coming in. He was coming into town. Was the thing?
Sure.
So directly outside of our office, there's this big ass picture of him, and we surrounded it with this big safari.
All these toys, these toy African animals.
Yeah.
They removed that before his visit. They said we had to take it. It was a beautiful art piece.
It really was. They're like, dude, you can't. We're like, we have no problem putting this
If
up.
the guy wants to brag about it, sure, we'll send it right back.
You're the
like
one who
you're on
opened up the
vacation.
door.
You told us about it.
You let us in.
Once more, she continues to inform us that she numbered all of the photos, Mr. Hill, but she skipped several numbers so that they will never believe that they found them all.
That is brilliant. I like this woman.
I like this woman.
We need to hire her.
Yes, we do. That's brilliant. That's it for your headlines. With that, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Tool and Guns N' Roses tickets, your next chance to win coming up with the lovely Taryn Daly at 7:16. Enjoy the weekend.
Yes, indeed. In the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Start your Las Vegas adventure with the world's ultimate zipline, Slotzilla, at the Fremont Street Experience. Launch from the largest slot machine in the world, traveling up to 35 miles per hour under the largest digital screen on the planet, while basking in the Vegas casino glow. Then grab a bite and a drink from a selection of over 100 bars and restaurants, and explore our multiple stages with free live music nightly. See some of the most fun, funny, and outlandish sights and characters of this legendary destination. Tickets and info at vegasexperience.com.